Hey guys, welcome to Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Vegas Golden Knights. The series is tied 2-2. Every game has basically been a one-goal game. Last game was 5-3, but with an empty netter. But we'll see who steals the series lead this evening from Lenovo Center in Raleigh. It's been back and forth, really. It's been wild momentum swings both ways. We've had comebacks. We've had, choked leads. We've had questionable goaltending for much of these past four games, and we have hopefully a very competitive Game 5 ahead of us. So welcome here. It'd be great to see as many of you Twisters here in the chat as possible. So say hello, let us know who you're cheering for, let us know your score prediction for this evening, and hopefully we have some great hockey on tap, and we have some treats for Cortana. She'll be checking in with us every now and then as well. Cortana, you want to come say hi? Here, actually, let's do the dual camera. There we go. Here, go lie down. And lie down. There you go. Good girl. Ready? Whoop. There she is. There's Cortana. And there are you guys. We got Tiago here. Thank you for joining. Greetings from, he's tuning all the way in from Brazil. And on the subject of Brazilian culture, with football being their national sport, football, or futsal as they say over there, happy World Cup Day to those who are celebrating as well. The series has been wild, says Dean. I've been taking the losses very well. Yes, as evident in our Discord. But I'm glad that all is well as it can, as enough as it can be here. We've got Jake joining in. Yeah, all good, buddy. Hey, I'll be thinking about your pops, of course. Good sir. And Ethan says, hey, Twisters, thank you for gracing us with your presence once again. Ethan, you know what? Cortana gets another snack just for that. Oops, I just dropped something. We've got Trevor in the building here. Day one of the World Cup. Mexico took the first game 2-0. I heard that the average ticket price for that was like $2,800. Or excuse me, like the lowest price ticket was like $2,800. You bet, Jake. You bet, man. Here, you want another snack? There we go. Whoop. There she goes. Got to move the bed back next time, I think. Nick, good evening. Good. We got all of our regulars already joining here with us. And hopefully for none of us here, Darnell Nurse will not be on our favorite team's NHL roster in a few months. Also, congratulations to Nikita Kucherov. By the thinnest of margins over Connor McDavid, he has won yet another Hart Trophy. I think that's the second in his trophy case. He also has some Art Rosses. I'm sure at least one Ted Lindsay Award. And even Nathan McKinnon got a pretty good turnout in the MVP voting as well, or the most valuable player for his team, as decided by the Writers Association. You got a new backdrop, really? So you actually have a new studio setup, because that is, of course, a labor of love. In this case, I probably put this up in about 45 minutes with the help of Mrs. Twister. But yeah, I know a thing or two about making a backdrop from back in my days of doing this a lot more consistently. Hurricanes, all day. Let's go Canes. Let's see here. Okay, let me just make sure I'm crossed over here. He started game 4 for the Hurricanes, and Kochetkov, I haven't gotten a confirmation, but my assumption is that he's going to be backing up. Anderson will be the emergency goaltender if need be. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Harrison, Harrison Nosera. Fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Who gets the first goal? You're going to say Jarvis. I would love a Seth Jarvis opening goal. Somebody on that top line has to set the tone. I'll feel safer if that's the case. Granted, the goaltenders have to make saves, right? We haven't seen enough of that just yet. I think this is going to be a full 7 games. What do I think? I mean, how does it not look like it's going to be 7 games? Because it's been such a crazy shift of momentum in every single game. You just don't know what to expect. You could have a 4-goal lead, and you could end up going to overtime. It's just crazy. All right, first goal. Now, my series prediction was the Golden Knights, so I'm going to still hold true to that. So I'm going to say getting things started. Let's go Barbashev. Ivan Barbashev gets the first goal of this game. That'll be my prediction there. And I'll take the Knights in this one. We've gotten lots of goals already. I'll say they win this one 5-3. No empty netters, though, just 5-3. Let's go with that. And we also have a poll here where you can vote. And we should be getting underway in about 17 minutes, hopefully a little bit sooner. But I can get underway with some rye whiskey here. How are we feeling, sports geeks? Do you really care who wins this game, or is it just kind of like, look, I just want the hockey to be good? And a lot of people were saying they were not looking forward to this series whatsoever. And this is probably one of the better series we've seen in quite some time, actually. We had, of course, a 7-game series back in 24 when the Panthers beat the Oilers. They were nearly reverse swept. And if we do get to 7 games here, it would just be the 5th time since since coming out of the lockout in 05-06. So the Hurricanes, 06, went 7 games. Bruins over the Canucks went 7 games. We also had the Blues over the Bruins in 7 games. Yeah, Oilers. Hockey from home. Thank you for saying hello here once again. Hey, Cortana. Hey, Cortana. How about we throw one your way for courtesy of Hockey from Home? There we go. Okay. Oh, shoot. Hey, Trevor, that's bonkers, bro. Well, stay safe, man. Just be on the lookout. Hurricanes called up their AHL goaltender today. Really? My gosh, they're just looking for all sorts of solutions. Am I going to watch any World Cup? You know, tomorrow for I don't know what time the game's at for me, but I'd like to watch the U.S. whenever they're on. As far as matches beyond that, maybe. It's been a while since I've really watched soccer, though. Hey, what's going on, Jake? Thanks for jumping in here. I love seeing Mark Stone's team do well, but at the same time, I want his team to lose. Stone has scored, I think, like 4 goals in his last 6 games. He's been a pretty steady constant for the Knights so far. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I got to think that Dorofeyev or Barbashev should be due in this game. I should have actually put a bet on that, but I didn't. But one guy you can bet on impressing on the other side of things is Jordan Staal, who is the first player since Mike Bossy in 1982 to score a goal in each of the first 4 games. And you already think about what he does defensively. He has been tremendously valuable to this team in the postseason run overall, but certainly in this series. I think the Western Conference or the World Cup game, wild card, Western Conference, water closet, Dub C, the Ghetto Heisman. It's 7 my time. It's a late game. All right, well, I'm not going to object to that whatsoever. 6 PST. Okay, got it. Yeah, being in North Idaho, I'm Pacific time. So, which is probably because Spokane, Washington's like right next to us. So, makes sense. And between us and Boise, there's almost nothing. There's a bunch of mountains and farming land. Today I'm drinking some Sprite with wine, Messi's favorite. What do we call that? Would that just be what we call that, a spritzer? I'm not sure. Yes, Jordan Staal, my doppelganger. I actually have a friend from Panama. He's an American citizen now, but he's traveling around the country going to some World Cup games. He's a huge Ronaldo fan, too, so I would imagine he's probably going to see Portugal once or twice. An ice-cold original Coke. You know what I need to get myself some of? I don't know where specifically to get it, but I got to pick up some Mexican Coke, right, where it's with the real sugar. Especially if I can find some real Dr. Pepper, that'd be really great. I've got some beer. Yeah, I was thinking about the beer, and then I just decided, you know what? I'm going to make sure that the primary liquid I have is water. I'll start with the whiskey now, and then maybe we'll enjoy a brew later on, depending how things are going or how much I need to calm my nerves. Because yes, my nerves, and especially, well, let's just say there's been some puckering throughout this series because it's been just a nail biter. Thankfully, my nails look okay right now, but I mean, there's lots of hockey left, right, guys? 74% of the time, whoever wins Game 5 wins the rest of the series. That's just a stat that I'm learning here. But yeah, that was pretty bonkers Game 4 there. Yet again, the Staal goal, the second one, unbelievable how he's tripping over himself and just, kind of swats at the puck and thankfully tucks it past Carter Hart. It was amazing. Soda Emporium has rare sodas from all over. Now that sounds like it's an online service, but yeah, I like a good fizzy drink. It doesn't have to be beer either. We actually have some really good cider. I might dip into some more cider when I get up for a pause. Is Bussy a better goalie than Freddie? I mean, going into these playoffs, I just didn't trust the Hurricanes with whoever they put out there. The best case scenario would have been Kochetkov if he got a little bit of playing time at the end of the season, but he just didn't. So I think it's better for them to start Bussy for this game, but do I expect him to finish the series? Not necessarily. But Freddie needed a little bit of time off, and I know that he's going through a whole lot with the death of Claude Lemieux, having been his agent for his whole NHL career, and gotten really close to him. Rest in peace, of course, Claude Lemieux. The first game had 3 red cards. That's the first time in World Cup history. Really? Wow. I wonder if players are just getting tired of things being a little soft on the pitch there. And Hart stays in net for the Knights, from what I'm understanding here. Which, I mean, I would think that you're not really losing out on too much if you give Hill a look. I mean, Hart's was excellent, especially in those middle series, right, against the Ducks and then against the Avalanche, to where I understand if Tortorella wants to stick with him, but send a message to the team. I'm not saying that all those goals are on him per se either. There's been some pretty good. Yeah, Dean makes a good point here. There's been some very good viewership in this series. Yeah, I think this has been a big net positive for the NHL. So that's a great point. A city near you that's predominantly Hispanic and they have all the good stuff. I gotcha. There's actually like a city in Mexico that's like Coke is almost a deity there. I don't really know how to describe it. I've seen like a little clip of it. All right, so 5:13. Okay, so we're less than 10 minutes away from the puck drop. Hey. Kane save, Freddie Anderson, and recalled goaltender Amir Miftahov are eligible and available tonight. But Brandon Bussy is the starter with Pyotr Kochetkov backing up. Interesting. Huh. All right. So my first goal of this game, I don't know if he's going to score the first goal, but I'm fairly confident Ivan Barbashev's going to have a goal tonight. Hell, he might have 2. Hopefully, Hart doesn't allow 4 more. Yeah, it's true. Is it true that he's the first goalie ever to allow 4+? And hell, I mean, if Anderson was playing in the last game, that could have easily been the case as well. want to say that the save percentage in this series so far is probably like I want to say about 860 between the two teams. Like right now, if I look at the statistics on Hockey Reference, check this out. So Freddie Anderson, 815. Brandon Bussey, 900. Because last game, he didn't have a high save percentage. And Carter Hart is 861. So we have a total of, let's take a look here, 16 goals against, 12 and 4. So 32 goals against. And how many? Well, I guess we could just do the math on saves versus shots against. So 89. Who wants to crunch some numbers with me? Number crunching with Twisted Wrister Hockey. Plus 99, so it's 188 saves, and 115 plus 115. Like, I am genuinely curious about this. 115 plus 105 is 220, so 188 divided by 220. The save percentage in this playoffs, or in this Stanley Cup Final between the two teams, is 854. Now, that I don't know if that's going to be record low, because there were the 1980s, but yeah. Eichel needs to enter the chat tonight. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I can't just be Mitch Marner out there for the Knights. And so far, of course, he leads the team with 8 points in the 4 games. On the other side of things, Jordan Staal leads the Hurricanes with 6 points in the 5 games, or 4 games. Yeah, so Marner, 8 points in 4 games. Brett Howden, 4 goals, 2 assists. Shea Theodore, 2 goals and 4 assists. Braden McNabb. Holy God, Braden McNabb has 6 assists in 4 games. I do not have that on my bingo card. Nikolai Ehlers, 3 goals, 2 assists. Shane Gostisbehere, 1 goal, 3 assists. Sebastian Aho, 4 assists. But we're looking for more than just assists from Sebastian Aho. And I'd say the same thing for Svechnikov. Yeah, Eichel's been silent. Yeah, he's been disappointing. But when I look at what he did in the Stanley Cup run a few years ago, he was terrific for that. Red 6 down. As an Avs fan, hoping the Canes win it. The refs were against they were against the Avalanche that series. Mike Commodore rocking it looks like he's wearing a robe or something, and he's got some cabbage up there. He definitely does. He sounds the siren. Yeah, what do you do though if you're the Avalanche? We know that Bednar is sticking around. 6 assists and an 87-mile-per-hour puck in the base there. Yeah. But yeah, one thing that I've appreciated about this Stanley Cup Final and the playoffs in general, but especially in the final, is that both teams have been healthy. There isn't like an absolute star player who's out of the lineup for either team. And hopefully that's the way that things stay. The guy who sounded the horn was Mike Commodore. He was on the Stanley Cup team of 2006. And I believe he has 1 or 2 things to say about Mike Babcock. So we're going to get to the anthems, and then the anthem, and then we'll dive right into the first period. So I'm going to just update this right now before I forget. And hopefully have ourselves a entertaining product on the ice here. So please do smash that thumbs up. And again, super chats equal treat for Corton. Get rid of Sean McDonough. He doesn't call hockey very well. Yeah, I mean, he's had some very good calls, but he's also had moments where he just seems like he's very behind the play. Because, he comes from of course, Trevor, you've probably thought about this as well with your broadcasting career. But, he comes from a football background, right? So that's such a different game of ball versus hockey. Whereas somebody like Doc Emmerich or even Bob Wischusen, for that matter. I mean, I would love for Bob to step in here. But like I said, McDonough has had some good moments, too. I think that when he got Seth Jarvis's goal And even the Staal goal, I thought that was pretty good too. Just get the finals back to TNT. I would personally prefer that too. Brandon Bussey has a cool story. He was cast off from the Bruins, the Providence Bruins, and then he was signed by the Canes. Yeah, and I mean, 27 years old and a rookie, and setting records for rookie goaltenders. Would rather have NBC. I guess if you didn't have, what would you rather have? Like Kenny Albert, right? If you had to pick a broadcaster right now who's not on ESPN, would it be Kenny Albert? You can't bring back Doc from retirement. You can't choose Gary Thorne either. All right, so the anthem concludes. The lights come on at the Lenny, and we're getting ready for puck drop. I love Kenny. I think I like Kenny more for football, but of course, yeah, I like Kenny. All right, Brandon. Bro, some timely saves. Get Vilma out of his NFL booth. Yes. Yeah, we Vikings fans know a thing or two about that. TNT needs to be going forward the Stanley Cup Final partner. ESPN's been terrible at the NFL brand. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like there are little things that I like about it, but no, I would take TNT over ESPN too. I'm more interested there. All right, Dean. Goose Fraba. Mickey Redmond. Has Mickey Redmond done anything on the national level? I have no idea. I mean, of course, if I could choose anybody to call this, it would be Randy Hahn or actually John Forsland for this cup, just because of his history with the Hurricanes and even before then, the Whalers. All right, so we're underway, and we got a puck in the Carolina corner, moved up through the wall by Chatfield, and bouncing off of Ehlers as he gets into the Vegas zone. And a failed backhander there that Shea Theodore in Battle of 27s comes up with. And from center ice, sent in by Eichel. Blake able to fight off Stone. And now Nikolai Ehlers on that third line. Moved up the wall by Slavin. And the Canes fumbled there just past the blue line by the Canes. And the Knights will get the clear, and this will not be an icing as Miller will start things going the other way. Off a turnover at center ice, Blake, and now a loose puck that Stankoven comes up with. Stankoven, of course, yet another. We got Lautaro. Happy World Cup, and thank you for joining us. All right. From center ice, Carlson shoots. Doesn't hit the net. And we get a puck out of play here with the first minute 16 gone by. Black Trejo, hey, what's going on? Haven't seen you in a wee while. And so Cortana, we'll give Cortana an apple for you. Whoop. There we go. Look at that good girl. Yeah, you're a good girl. The bus is back. Yeah, I hope the bus is ready to make a lot of stops. As the Knights win this face-off, a lot of battling in front of the net. Hurdle had that huge goal to get things started in this series in game one. Failed clear by Martinook, and somebody loses his stick. Shipped out by Svechnikov. Somebody on the other side of things were looking to come alive. Here he is, trying to find Aho, and a back check there from Sissons. Kept in at the point momentarily by Chatfield. And now a contested puck that the Knights are trying to chip in from center ice. And they'll actually regroup with their fourth line. Or excuse me, with Dylan Cogman. I confused him for Colasar for a moment there. And Colasar is out there. And from the half boards, that's Dowd. And now Carrier. We just have a scrum here at the half boards. Both forward lines out for these teams. By the way, you guys can hear me okay? Just want to make sure. From behind the net, Cole Smith cycled along to Colasar. Carrier scooping it up, and Carrier, of course, being on the home team this time. And the team's able to get it clear. They'll be able to get it deep enough for a change. Where's Larkin going to end up? That's a great question. I'm curious to see like how aggressive the Kings are now that Kopitar is gone, because they do need help at center. Not that they have a whole lot to trade the other way, though. You know, I sound okay? Okay, thanks, guys. Well, Trejo, I think I'm going to be great once this final is over, because I've been on pins and needles here, but whiskey helps, right? Yeah, I don't think we should keep the Kings out of the talks to land Dylan Larkin, even though they don't have the bargaining chips that a team like Minnesota would have. Well, is his trade list, is that only 3 teams? Because some players do have that in their contract where it's only 3 teams. But I mean, of course, I would assume that, you know, the Panthers and the Knights would be on that list. Stankoven, Walker, and a turnover in the neutral zone. Marner trying to play the carom. Ooh, big hit there by Walker. I forgot who that was against. I think it was against Howden. The second line out there for the Canes. Here's Stankoven from the corner off the side of the net. Hall scooping up the loose puck. He'll shoot. Saved by Hart. Play goes on. Blake. And now Theodore. Soft chip into the neutral zone where both teams will be getting some new personnel out there. What championship would hit harder for me, a Sharks or a Vikings? It would be the Sharks. Yeah. Staal and Ehlers in the biggest corner. And Slavin decides not to try to hold that at the point. It's scooped up by Barbashev. But yeah, it would be the Sharks for me, because I have more, you know, I'm more connected to you know, Sharks community. Now in transition, here comes Jarvis. A one-timer saved by Hart off of Chatfield. And maybe the Hurricanes are starting to get a couple chances here. Bit of a slow burn to start this, where we've had lots of goals early in these games so far. And the Canes will get a change with Svechnikov pursuing against Anderson. He wins that battle. Martinick scoops it up. Takes some contact. Cleared out by the Knights defense. Knights coming the other way with Marner. Tips it by Gostisbehere. From the corner. Fired out. Puck rolls down, and this will not be an icing. Theodore, though, will have a lot of time with the first 5:30 gone by in this Game 5. Now the Canes from their own goal line. Through the neutral zone it goes. And now Theodore. Held in by the Knights at the blue line, but they're actually offside. Derek, what's going on, man? What do you think of this final so far? But yeah, you know, Jake, I've been, really, truly a Vikings diehard longer than the Sharks. But just given the fact that, you know, some of my closest friends are Sharks fans, and I've converted people to the Sharks, and I used to be able to walk to games there, and I've been going to games since I was probably about 7. Yeah, it would definitely be them. They are the closest sports team that I grew up to, so it's got to be them. We got King Kai in the building. Thank you for joining us here. I've been certainly anxious throughout this series, being a Hurricanes supporter, but the hockey's been good. It's been enjoyable, even though you know, if the Canes don't win it, I can't say it's not worth anything, but you can't come all the way. You can't come all the way this far just for nothing. This may be the worst Cup uniforms matchup of all time. Identity crisis for the Hurricanes. I don't mind the current uniforms we have right now, like the Vegas away and the Carolina home. I think that works actually okay. It's the other matchup that we have when the Knights are wearing their gold and the Hurricanes have their very red but conflicting patterns. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, I agree with you strongly on one facet of that. Now Nikishin and glove down by Anderson, so play will go on in the Carolina zone. Some time here for Staal and through the skates of his teammate. Carolina, we have a puck out of play. And this is going to be a penalty to Nikolai Ehlers, so the Knights are going to go on the power play. It's going to be a delay of game to Nikolai Ehlers. And the Golden Knights, who have struggled on the power play in this series. I mean, that's not to say they haven't looked good, like really good at times, but they'll look to flip the script here. You like the Canes home jersey logo? I don't know if I like that on the front of the jersey so much, but I think that the symbolism is very cool. I still think that this is what I prefer more, or like the 25th anniversary jersey, which was basically the old red jersey that they used to wear. I like that probably the most. But what they wear at home is, I think, it's unique and it's kind of cool. And the NBA final is looking interesting too. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been following it, but I saw what happened last night. That was unbelievable. And even though in today's NBA, a 29-point comeback is actually not that big, in the final, it's always going to be just enormous. So kudos to the Knicks, and I hope they can close things out. I mean, the Spurs, I don't have anything against them per se, but, I want to see the Knicks haven't won a championship since way before I was born. So, good luck to the Knicks finishing off that series, hopefully. But we know that a 3-1 lead is not safe in the final. Agreed. But the all-time uniform matchup, it's bad. What would probably be the best Stanley Cup Final uniform matchup you guys have seen? I mean, when we got 2019 between the Blues and Bruins, I don't like for those franchises uniforms. Those aren't my favorites, but I think altogether they look pretty decent on the ice. Blackhawks Bruins, certainly anytime you have an original six matchup, that's going to look good, right? Trevor, what's going on? Don't ask me how you doing. That's what I want to know. What an emotional roller coaster this final has been so far. Yeah, Blackhawks Bruins. All right, here comes Martin. So the Kings are shorthanded here. They'll try to chew up a little bit of time behind the Knights' net. And Martinook able to at least make the Knights regroup all the way from their own goal line. Here comes Eichel. He passes up an opportunity, and they score. It's Pavel Dorofeyev. The Golden Knights are on the board just like that on the power play. Banner. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Eichel came in with a lot of speed there, and he got around. I didn't see if that was Slavin, but Chatfield went to cover with him, and you basically had two defensemen committing to one guy. They weren't able to get a stick on the puck, so that's going to leave somebody open. Got an old hockey stick that was signed by the whole team when you were 8 years old. I totally forgot I had that thing. That's amazing. Here they come again. And a nice defensive play there from Walker. That's really cool. You got to like, I don't know. Oh, 2-on-1 for the Canes. Here they come. Miller. Oh my goodness. That was not a good pass by whoever that was in transition. Oh my God. That was Taylor Hall. Pass up the opportunity to shoot. That's not a horrible decision, but that wasn't a good pass. A 2-on-1 just after you give up a goal. I mean, like, you're probably just dying to have that back. Now, Svechnikov and loses that battle against Kolasar. Anderson taken away by Gostisbehere, and it's iced by the Hurricanes. You're okay, girl. So that's going to be Pavel Dorofeyev, a guy who was pretty quiet here. You're not going to get too many better opportunities than what he had. No chance for Bussy. No Cortana. You thought he'd actually made the save? Yeah, that was just over in the blink of an eye, really. And a face-off in the Kane zone. Carolina wins this. They're able to get the clear. And Eichel handing it off to Stone in the neutral zone. Drop pass from Marner. Mitch Marner shoots. Saved by Bussy. And off the rebound, Stone denied by Bussy. I'd be willing to probably bet Cortana that the Knights have the highest shot percentage in the first 5 minutes, or let's just say first 10 minutes of the game of any NHL team in the last decade. Slavin looking for Svechnikov. It's funneled along to Eichel. He coughs it up to Aho, who then turns it over himself. Knights defense able to lift this clear. Hurdle able to scoot that out of his zone. And the Knights come back with some speed here. Bussy able to get a glove save there. Play goes on, though, off of Dorofeyev. The early goal for the Knights. And they're threatening again with the Hurdle line. A shot just wide at the net. Here comes Hanifin. He shoots through a screen. Nope, couldn't get that on net. And the Knights have something cooking here. Anderson jumping into the play. Funneled back out to the point. Hurdle shoots off of somebody. Bussy didn't get a piece of it. And the Canes still struggling to clear here. Slavin, as we're 9.5 gone by. Chance, good evening to you. Pretty good final so far, huh? Here come the Canes. Drop past Ehlers. He fires it toward the net. He was looking for Stankoven. Blake. Fought off by Anderson. And the Knights will skate the other way. Barbashev. And a loose puck here for Barbashev. He shoots in. That's saved by Bussy. Heads up save there. And the Knights are starting to feel it a little bit here in Raleigh. Miller is going to regroup here for the Canes, as the Knights have poured on 6 shots compared to just 2 for Carolina. So that power play got things really started for them. This keeps up one of the better Stanley Cups in recent memory. Yeah, I think objectively it's got to be. Martinook playing this from behind his net to Gostisbehere. Intercepted in the neutral zone by Coughlin. And retreating back is Nikishin, fighting off Riley Smith. And the Canes are offside here with 9:12 left in the first period. So that goal earlier from Dorofeyev, I think that's like, what, his 11th of the playoffs? You know, a guy who's been back-to-back 30 goals for Vegas. 35 goals, I don't know, it's a lot. But the Dorofeyev goal off the power play, and Vegas was looking for something like that, not just to get them started here, but to give them some confidence that their overall game could possibly round into form as we get later into the series. So we got a commercial break here. Yeah, I might need some more of this. We'll see. Oh, Cortland's still here. All right, guys. By the way, I want to shout out not just Nikita Kucherov for winning the Hart Trophy, but hi, how we doing, girl? I want to shout out my favorite baseball team, the San Francisco Giants, for actually doing something exciting recently. They were down 9-1 in the 8th inning, and they came back and won against the Nationals yesterday, with Bryce Eldridge becoming the youngest player ever to walk off with a grand slam. So hopefully the dark days for the Giants will not be too many more. Whoop. There you go, girl. The Nats blew a 9-1 lead. Yeah, I mean, that kind of thing can happen, but I mean, we're talking about in the 8th inning, right? Excuse me. All right, back to the action here, but it's going to be an icing for the Hurricanes. By the way, correction to the shot total for the Knights, it's at 5 right now. Canes no shot attempts in the last 6 minutes. Oh, you're okay, Cortana. My God. Simmer down. Fourth line out there for the Hurricanes and the top line out there for the Knights. Eichel getting around Jankowski. And they have a nice little tango there in the corner. Out in front for Stone. And off the attempt there by Marner. Bussy, I don't think got a pad on it, but Vegas threatening a little bit some more. Here comes Miller. All the way down behind the Knights net. Theodore. And Stone. Intercepted by Chatfield in the neutral. We'll chip this down past the pad of Hart. And really with the Canes right now, they're having a little bit of a hard time getting the cycle game going. Ehlers, the tip play, they score! It's Staal once again, and it's tied up in Raleigh. Oh, captain, my captain, Jordan Staal is unstoppable. Wait, why is my banner copy? That's funny. Are you kidding me? Amazing. Jordan freaking Staal. My God, you might need to name my firstborn child after you. Which would actually kind of work because one of my best friends is named Jordan too. So I'm not gonna leave out that idea. There you go, girl. And actually, I did place a small bet on Jordan Staal scoring a goal. So I just won a little bit of money too. So there you go. Just a skosh, you know, fund the Nick Pinkerton video games fund. Dominic, Nick's twin scored. Yeah. Here, Cortana gets another treat for that. I gotta dye my hair blonde though, but yeah, great deflection. And yeah, great response there from the Canes, with a lot of pressing by the Knights though. Jordan Staal Pinkerton. Jordan's his middle name will be Staal. I think we're kind of, I don't know, we might keep the family middle nickname in there too. I'd say let's have 2 middle names. You know, Jordan Staal James Pinkerton. I don't know, that wouldn't sound so good. I know that my fiance right now is shaking her head. The 09 legend, yes indeed. Man, he can't be stopped, man. That's 6 goals now in not even freaking 4 1/3 games here in the Stanley Cup Final by the captain. I mean, when was the last time you saw a Stanley Cup Final with somebody that grizzled like Jordan Staal Let's go Canes. Come on, baby. That arena needs to go ballistic. Being named after a hockey player. She's had time to think about that for a while. All right, Carrier. Oh, nice cycle to Eric Robinson. Fed back to the point, kept in by Nikishin briefly. Shot and a pad save by Hart. Cross the spare, again toward the net. Traffic in front and shipped out by the Vegas defense. And almost a chance in transition there, but we'll get some changes in personnel and Theodore will regroup. How is Mrs. Twister? I think she's doing great. We're 4 months away from our wedding, so got some stuff to look forward to for sure. But Staal, or not Staal, rhymes with Staal. Taylor Hall with the shot there. This time I can smile and say I'm the Yankees' #1 fan. Hey, I'll cheer for the Knicks. And did that? No, Bussy didn't get a pad on that. My bad. But the Knights, through all this chaos, nearly take the lead. Wait, are the Yankees playing the Dodgers? Is that what's going on? Because I know you'd mentioned this a while ago. They're playing the Blue Jays. You know, I don't like the Blue Jays either. So for all I care, go Yankees. Coughlin. Walker. Turned over high in the Canes zone. The Knights will extend their possession. Here's Dorofeev out to the point. Saved by Bussy. Rebound cleared away by the Canes defense. Still alive in the zone, though. And William Karlsson takes a bump from Walker, who gets bumped by Howden. Canes skated out. Ehlers, he'll just chip it in so the Canes can get a defensive change. And Hart will seal that with his trapper. Nah, I don't know. I wouldn't say root for the Meteor, but yeah, I look. Yeah. Commercial break. Go Blue Jays. No, I wanted them in the World Series last year. Let's make sure I'm clear on that. I was very much hoping that they would win. Amazing series, but it would be even more amazing if we actually had a salary cap in baseball. Anyway, commercial break. 1-1 goals by Dorofeev and Staal. This game's off to once again a great start. All right. So game 6 is going to be on Sunday, by the way, for those who didn't know. Yet again, an 8 Eastern start time. Same thing if we go to game 7. A salary floor. Yeah, I think we should have a ceiling and a floor. I mean, you can't expect everybody to spend, $450 million like a team, Kind of worried that the Knights are going to win the cup again. I mean, they were my pick between these two. The graphics package they have for the World Cup this year, I haven't been paying attention, but I think I should watch the game tomorrow. Actually, maybe I'll go to a sports bar or something. That'd be fun. Many moons ago, I did work in Major League Soccer, so I did get into the sport a little bit, but I haven't followed it really since then. Was a season ticket holder for the Earthquakes back in 2012. They won. They won the Supporters Shield that year, and they haven't made the playoffs since then. But this year they're actually like a freaking wagon, or at least so far they are. So go Quakes. But I don't really have a foreign team. Somewhere in my closet I have a Team Denmark jersey, but they're not in the World Cup this year, unfortunately. Spent a few months of my life in Denmark in college, and then I also have a West Ham United jersey. That's about it. That's all I can really tell you. All right, Gossesbear getting that away from Colasar. Fourth line out there for the Canes. Good job there by Jankowski as he takes a little shove from Dowd. And now Jeremy Lauzon able to chip that by. I had to say that in a French-ass way. And icing to the Golden Knights. 7-4, they lead in shots. You have an Egypt jersey. I bet that could be pretty fresh. Because I know they got black and red in their flag, so that could be a pretty sweet looking jersey. A friend of yours graduated from Harvard, or as people would call it, Harvard. I bought a gorgeous suit for the graduation party. Now, so it's going to be a graduation party in Brazil. And say Dodgers effing suck. Yes, duck the frauders, as I would say. Knights having a little trouble, but they finally clear the puck. And now a foot race between, looks like Kolasar and Chatfield. Kolasar gets there first, but there's some defensive support for Carolina. And now tipped in by Tomas Hertl. And now around the net it goes. Here comes Martinook. So he's on the top line for the Hurricanes, but as we've seen, these guys have been pretty quiet. Martinook's not expected to score all the goals per se, but in the playoffs, he's good for a clutch goal or two. And that hits Martinook in front after that shot from the point. Nice work by Slavin to prevent that from going into the zone. I still think there should be a floor and a ceiling, though. Like, I think people who are saying that there needs to be a floor, like, that's totally fair. But no, I don't think that these other, no way. You at least put an end to deferred salary. That's such BS. All right. Here comes Staal, knocked away by the Knights defense. And from center ice, Miller rifles this around the net. Ends up on the stick of Theodore. Glove down in the neutral zone by Jarvis, who takes a shove. And we're down to about 3 minutes. Oh, I had this as the middle of the period. We're now late in the period. Staal chips it in. Dorofeev able to shield that puck and win the board battle into the neutral zone. Carlson shoots Bussy, the pad save. Cleared out. Jackson Blake, and a little miscommunication with Stankoven. Diehard Red Wings fan. Hello. I hope you're getting through things okay with the recent news of Larkin. Also in Red Wings news, not the same type of news by any means, but it's been 10 years since the passing of Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe. I wouldn't afford the suit and the trip up to the States. Hey, you're going to be an accountant, so that can change pretty quickly. Canes popping this clear. Robinson couldn't beat Lauzon. Nice back check by number 5 in white. Now here comes Nikishin from center ice. On the wing, Svechnikov bumps it over to Robinson, so a little bit of a new look for that group. Svechnikov, yeah, he's been as quiet as I've seen him in the playoffs, and that's saying something. Chipped by Miller. So we're down to 1:30 in the first period. Goals by Dorofeev for the Knights and captain Jordan Staal once again for the home team, Hurricanes. Eichel. Nice battle there against Martinook. And now Svechnikov, as a defender, falls down for the Knights. McNabb. Castle Siege, hey, welcome back. Maybe a chance for the Knights. They shoot wide of the pad of Bussy off of the bid from Eichel. And we've got an offside here to the Knights with a $1.02 left. Going to build a new arena. Oh, wait, the Stars' new proposed arena is in Plano. I did not know that. I heard something about that. The headline was confusing. Goals in 5 straight games in the Stanley Cup Final. Jordan Staal becoming the first since Yvan Cournoyer of the Canadiens back in 1973. 53 years ago. My God. Jordan Staal for Conn Smythe. But the Canes got to win. Otherwise, I can't see him getting it. That will be Mitch Marner's honors to rightfully claim. Marner, and from center ice, sent down by Carlson. Slavin takes a weird carom, but chipped out by the Canes. A hand pass in the neutral zone with 33.4. And hopefully the last whistle of the period. I don't say that for my bladder, but I say that for my liver. Are any of the Dallas sports teams going to play in Dallas in 5 years? Yeah, that's true, right? I guess that would just leave the Mavericks, right? Mavericks' new arena is going to be in North Dallas. Oh. And FC Dallas plays in what, Frisco? A shot from the point there for the Knights. A loose puck. Bunch of defenders converging. Canes get the clear, but this is gonna no icing. Oh, they do whistle icing. Oh, that's weak sauce. Oh, that's weak sauce. I disagree. But we'll get a face-off in the Carolina zone. All right. Hurricanes already throwing 13 hits to 10 for the Knights. But the Knights have had the majority, not like a dramatic majority, but oh gosh, this is going to be another delay of game penalty. Keandre Miller's going to the box. And we saw how quickly the Knights were able to score on their power play on the Dorofeyev goal. But that is an unforced error by Keandre Miller. The only thing working for him is that we are 6 seconds away from intermission, but one face-off win can certainly make things especially miserable for his team. If the Knights can get a shot here, set something up. You have a hinge brace. You'll have to remind me what that's for, because I want to say you might have mentioned something a while back. Off the face-off, Eichel, and nobody's at the point. So we'll go to the first intermission here. But when we come back, the Knights basically have a full power play. So goals by Dorofeyev for... Oh, wait, sorry. Carolina doesn't have the power play. My bad, guys. Goals by Dorofeyev for the Knights to get things started. But then it was the captain, Jordan Staal, his 6th of the Stanley Cup Final. I would hate to do... Oh. All right, guys. I'll be right back, okay? I'm just going to get a little bit more... liquid courage. I don't know. Liquid luck. All right, I'll be right back. Watch Cortana for me. I'll give her a little treat too, okay? So that was for your kneecap. Okay. Well, I mean, that's good. Obviously, you're still not quite out of the woods with recovery, but I wouldn't wish a knee injury on my worst enemy. That would suck, man. I'm sorry that you're going through that. Whew. Some good hockey here, but it's going to take a lot for the Hurricanes to feel that they're the better team, but Brandon Bussey made up some made up. Brandon Bussey made some very good saves, I thought, in that first period for Carolina. We got a Knicks fan in the building, Fisherman Islanders. Hey, I like the PFP, and congrats on. Well, you haven't won the title just yet, but boy, that was incredible at the very end of last night's game. I mean, that second half comeback, I should say. You know what I'm gonna do? One sec, I'm gonna open my window and turn off my AC. There we go. All right. Well, what do you think, guys? Do you think we're gonna have a different result based on what you've seen so far versus your expectations, or just 40, you got 40 minutes, right? Like nobody's showing that they're gonna absolutely steamroll the other team. I think the Knights have had the better period, and they do have that power play to open things up, but it's still a pretty even match from what we've seen so far here. Cortana. What is this commercial? This is an ESPN commercial with like it's basically small. Oh, it's Toy Story. It looks like small soldiers with like NFL players. That's funny. Since a young team haven't had a championship since '73. Yeah, I mean, I don't follow the NBA, but yeah, I'm not too familiar with the next roster. I know that they had a very good year last year, but it's not like they've put together a super team or anything like that. From what I understand, right? Of course, with the Knicks, I watched them back in the late '90s with their rivalry against the Heat, which of course was really based in the Knicks' feelings towards Pat Riley after he had been behind the bench there for a while. I always forget it's almost summer there. Here it's cold. I wish it was cold here. It's actually a great day today, but yeah, July is gonna suck, and August will probably be pretty bad too. Oh, Cortana, you're fine. She's whimpering at me, or she's whining at me. Yeah. So yeah, like how far away would you hate California? You hate Central Valley weather, I would think. It's 100 degrees. Yeah, that's that's too much of the norm, depending where you are. If you're, like, I know you're not I don't think you're in Fresno, are you? But, like, Fresno and Bakersfield, like, those places are just scorching. What is it in San Jose right now? 89. Oh, it was 96 in San Jose today? Damn. It's gonna cool off, thankfully, but, yeah, that's pretty hot. They always have this one heat wave in June, like, this time of year, that is just brutal. Yeah, so it was almost the same over there. Yeah, for some reason, I mean, like, this this pocket of heat can strangely linger there for a while. Good game, eh? Staal's a minute, yeah. Uh, well, you guys really, found out what's gonna work for you on the power play, just getting into the zone with some speed, huh? It's never really that bad there. Uh, in San Jose, September is probably the worst month, having lived there and around there. Not looking forward to it. To driving further for your teams or just summer? Because I mean, I can agree with both. How about is it September? Like, the don't look on Wikipedia because you'll have some days where it's, 77 or whatever, but, like, there are a lot more days in the 90s in, September versus, July. Yeah, I guess. As for here, let's see here, I'm 2 hours south of the Canadian border, and I'm like 2,300 feet elevation, and it's still 90 degrees in July and August. Strangely. Not a fan. But the rest of the year, it's pretty manageable. September can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes. Dark Charge Penguins, the RoboPen, rocking the 87, probably for Sidney Crosby, but if you're an 87 like me, I respect that too. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us here. What do you think of the final so far? Like, where would this rank, right? In finals that do not involve the Penguins, how good of a finals has this been, in your opinion? We have a delicious passion guava cider. Got a really good cidery in the Spokane area. So I'm in Idaho, but just on the other side of the border here. One Tree is going very very tasty. Do I live near Seattle? That's the closest major city, but that's still like a 5 hour drive. So Spokane is 45 minutes away, and that's like 200,000 people. But that's where I fly when I have to travel somewhere. The Bears leaving the state of Illinois. Yeah, I can understand that, right? I think that's very very unfortunate for the fans out there. Many of whom probably had season tickets in their families for generations. That's a shame. Uh, with Chicago, I think that one thing that really makes it pretty unique is that I mean, it's not the only city that does this, but for a city of its size to be able to concentrate your sports teams into the core of the city, except for the Fire for MLS. But yeah, I mean, Cubs and Sox, you can easily get to games there if you're in the heart of downtown, and now you got to travel not like unfathomably far, but for Chicago sports fans, probably so to watch those games. The Kings need to spend or need to speed up their power play game. I'm going to agree with that right away. They always slow it down, and it doesn't suit them. Cortana, you're fine. Stop whining. Shut you up, Cortana. Here you go, good girl. Um, it's funny. Yeah, Staal is a menace. Yeah, I won a few bucks by predicting he would score a goal. But yeah, the Canes seem to have a sense of urgency on their power play, right? I think they get too cute. They just don't. They don't have that. They don't. They don't have the talent that the Oilers do on a power play, or even that the Knights have on their power play, right? They don't have Nathan McKinnon. They don't have Cale McCarthy. They don't have that shot from the point. They've got Goss to spare. They have good pieces, but it's something that has to be more greasy, in my opinion. Hurried up more and greasy. Uh, on Larkin's trade destiny, yeah. So you got that going for you. Now you got to find a way to extend Quinn Hughes, and yeah, getting a little help at center would be very advantageous for you guys. They still need that true number one center. I mean, Eric Stanek, as much as I appreciated his game, he is he takes a lot of wear and tear, right? So they need somebody who can stay in the lineup a little bit more consistently and let him play his role just a little bit further down the line. Bears fan along with the Blackhawks, yeah. Who knows, man? You guys might be coming away with Ivar Stenberg. We'll see. I bet Frendell would just absolutely love that. But we'll see. Eiserman asked him to add more games. Yeah, I thought I had seen something about that, but I could be wrong. Uh, this might be the third time ever someone would want to go to a Minnesota sports team. Hey, I know one of them, Brett Favre. In 2009. That was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen in my life at that point. Brett Favre in that Vikings jersey. Second Caleb Williams. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Caleb Williams, the, Madden cover athlete, fingernails painted and all. I don't get why is Mike Commodore in a bathroom? I don't understand that, but, he's into it. That's what matters most. Not to mention Commodore, not just he doesn't just have, like, the freaking carrot top crazy hair. He's got a hell of a beard too when he grows it out. But yeah, guys, that's true. I forgot about this, and I'm sure you've seen this, but, the Knights have outscored the Hurricanes 9-1 in the second period so far. The Canes have the better third period, but you don't want it to have to come to that, right? Yeah, actually, you know what I'll do? I haven't done this, in forever, if ever at all. I'm gonna put in my banner at the bottom who has the goal so far. Is by Dorothea and Staal. You're okay, Cortana. Yeah, that should be yeah. If Boldy or Eriksson is part of the trade, I know Garen hangs up the phone. Boy, I wouldn't trade Matt Boldy. Would I trade Boldy for Larkin 1 for 1? Not right now. I would not do that. Not to mention Boldy's on a really good contract too. Second period is due to the long change, the Canes' aggressiveness. I can kind of see. I mean, I haven't I haven't watched it so closely to where I can attribute it to that, but I get what you're saying because at least going into the series, they played very aggressively in the neutral zone. A lot more open ice for the Knights. They scored their first goal, right? Uh, did Larkin purposely pick contenders? They can't give up good prospects. Yeah, I mean, he wants a team that's in win now. And I would have been surprised if Larkin wanted to go to any Canadian team with, having played his whole career in states so far. What happens with the AAC? I don't know. Be a parking lot. Here you go. Also getting some renovations is the Shark Tank SAP Center. Larkin will end up in Vegas. I mean, I'd say that if I had to put money on any of those 3 teams, that would be number 1. I'd give it a slight advantage over Minnesota. I can't see Larkin getting traded to the Panthers, though. I don't think the Panthers will need him as much. Plus, they don't have quite the bargaining chips unless they want to trade away like Lundell or something, right? Which I don't think they will. Vegas doesn't have a salary cap. That gets a good that warrants a chuckle. Will Larkin ever will he even get traded? I mean, just because he doesn't get traded in the offseason doesn't mean that he won't get dealt midseason. Question is, who gets dealt first, him or Nurse? By the way, I'd also seen a Bob Stauffer, who is a beat reporter for the Oilers. He says that he thinks McDavid's signing an extension this offseason for 7 more years. I didn't know he was even able to do that because he's under contract for 2 more years. I want to say. What about Babcock being considered for the Oilers job? Yeah, I mean, it's like, why would Connor McDavid, if Babcock's the coach, why is Connor McDavid going to sign for 7 years? Emperor King, yeah, Laviolette's the new coach there, and Darnell Nurse is willing to accept a trade there. Darnell Nurse, here's some defense for you. Although I will say, don't count the Kings out. If Yzerman wants Larkin to, share other destinations he would potentially accept, the Kings, I think, could be in the mix. Could be in the mix because what? They need a number one center. They're not a young team. They have a delusional GM who thinks they can win now. So plus Laviolette, very successful American coach. Nurse and Cece, yeah, get the band back together. Exactly. Shit, maybe my Sharks will actually vault ahead of them in the division. All right, we're gonna get ready for the second period here, folks. Yeah, what a freaking cavalcade of or carnival of occurrences we're having right now in the Pacific Division, huh? There All right, so the Knights are going to be on the power play. Don't forget. Actually, I got to make sure the banner's updated so it doesn't look like I forgot. And hopefully, you haven't forgotten to smash that like button because that does. At least I like to think that helps the channel. It makes me feel good though. But don't do it for me. Do it for my dog. Look at that face. Look at that cute face over there. Well, let's give her a treat. Yeah, somebody had like joked that somebody made like a meme of Babcock, and behind him is a whiteboard and it says players who give the least amount of effort. Matt Savoy's picks or whatever. Tiago with the gifted membership. Thank you. Obrigado. Let's give one to Cortana for that. There you go, girl. Whoop. Good job, girl. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I would appreciate a Hurricanes shorthanded goal and no power play goal conceived here, but let's see. Beggars can't be choosers. So again, this is like they started with all but 4 seconds on this power play. So Eichel's gonna hand it off to the point into the slot. Hurdle. That pass was too far. And Martinook is going to clear this down. Marner. Almost poked away by Jarvis. Looking cross ice there for Stone. Back out to the point, and he's got Marner. Fires it in, and it goes just by Bussy. Cleared down by Slavin. 1 minute left on this Golden Knights power play. Here comes Stone, drawing the attention of Walker. Getting a piece of it was Aho. These Canes are not afraid to be aggressive. Stone fires it over to Eichel. The shot saved by Bussy. Jarvis. Aho couldn't clear. It's Hurdle. Hands it off on the wing. And I couldn't tell if that hit the post, but it doesn't look like it now that I didn't hear the broadcast. Hurdle hands it back over to Eichel. Eichel, cross ice. Skips over Dorofeev. Back over to Hurdle. He works it down low to Stone. Handed over to Eichel. Back to the point where Marner is. Down to Stone. A sliding attempt there. Nikishin back into the slot. Bussy's going to cover this up. No, play goes on. Over to Eichel. 5 seconds on this power play. Touch pass. Shot. Wide. Eichel, as we're back to full strength, it ramps off a stick. Still alive in the Carolina zone. Dorofeev hands it over to Hurdle. The Canes are tired off this penalty kill. Into the slot and almost on the stick of Stone. Canes able to clear. Can they get the long change? Yes, they do. Whew. Go Germany. Auf geht's. I hope you're excited for some World Cup. And good luck to the States tomorrow. I think they take on who? Australia? Or is it Paraguay? I think it's Paraguay. That's right. Now here comes Logan Stankoven. Hands it off. The drop pass. The shot. And glove down by Hart. Hall. Around the net looking for Stanky. At the dot, Hall. A bunch of white jerseys able to strip that puck away from him. And we get a hand pass in the neutral zone. Woo! Trembling from that. So first couple minutes gone by here. All right, sent in by the Canes, but that Karam's out of play. Better have been Jim Hiller for Laviolette. I don't think that's clearing a high hurdle, but I think the Kings they need a real makeover. And I know they just had moved on from Rob Blake and Jim Hiller, and in comes Ken Holland. I don't like the retreads there. Laviolette in his last job or two has not worked out particularly good. I just don't know if he's going to be the guy. I don't mind him. He's fine. Just I just think that he's not going to. You can't expect him to be the solution. Oh, shot there by Dowd, denied by Bussy. Back out to the point, and this is off a skate in front. Goss to spare. The good thing for the Kings is that division is still pretty weak, right? Off a turnover, Jordan Staal. Here he comes, the goal scorer. Hands it back and skipped over his partner's stick there. Deadly Flames is hanging with us. McKillen. Now Hart from behind the net. Turned over to Ehlers. The Great Dane into the slot. He shoots. Just wide of the net. Takes a hard bounce. And skating it out of the zone is Marner. Chatfield. Oh, centering attempt out in front for the Knights. Shot from the point. Slavin gets the clear. Hit back down by Vegas. Chatfield. And now the Olympic gold medal winner, Slavin, gets it to center ice. A loose puck in the neutral zone. Whipped out by the Hurricanes, but this is going to go down for an icing as the Knights are out shooting the Hurricanes by a 10-6 margin. Are the Flames a good destination for free agents? Like I'm not thinking about the Flames trying to land somebody like that just yet. I think that what would benefit them most is really seeing a true franchise cornerstone emerge for them. My thought is that free agents should always complement your roster. They shouldn't define your roster. I just don't know if it's going to be a hot destination for free agents. I don't think that's going to happen just yet. It's going to be hard for some players also, or for the Flames to attract some players who haven't played in Canada before either, unless they want the opportunity of playing a role that they haven't yet, right, where they can get those top line points. Teams tip this down to Hart. First 5 minutes gone by. Walker and Martinook slapping it in from the neutral zone as the Canes set up the cycle game. It's been tough for them. Aho looking down low for Miller. Miller and Aho can't get a handle on that. A stretch pass, Barbashev almost connected with Carlson. We'll get an offside to the Golden Knights. Nice play there by Svechnikov. Otherwise, Carlson might have been on a break. Undead Avs is back. Slowly getting better. I do think Ryan Huska's done a really good job with what he's had to work with, considering not just the players that he's lost, but the environment. When you're expecting that those top players like Kadri or Anderson are going to be traded away, and then who's going to fill in for them? And I think they've done a really good job in that sense, right? We've got El Bebe hanging out with us here. The dog's got money on this game. I got money on this dog catching this treat. Here we go. Whoop. Oh, look at that. I'm a rich man. I'm rich, biatch. 14:28 left in this period. Don't forget Gilroy native Dustin Wolf. Gilroy, California, the garlic capital of the world. Not too far away from my upbringing. Landeskog won the Masterton. Yeah, not surprising. Bussy, ooh, boy, he almost turned that over to Sissons. Chatfield, he takes a hit. McNabb, stretch pass into the skates of Blake, who will chip this in. Played by Bussy, or at least halted by him. Stankoven. Oh, boy. We're going to get a whistle now away from the play as Taylor Hall, a little slow to get up here for the Hurricanes. Seems like he got into it with Nick Dowd. We got an Omega fan. I don't know. That's my mammoth imitation without my microphone clipping too much. But thank you for gracing us with your presence. Yeah, let's take a look at what happened here. We're going to have our first commercial break. So it was a cross check from Hall. And then what happened later? Then McNabb, a shot in the back against Hall. Yeah, that wasn't much. I don't think there's going to be a power play. It didn't look like it. Don't ask me to make a penguin imitation. I'll just say pengy, pengy, bang. And yeah, commercial break. Wait, the Knights, at least last time I checked, they don't have a power play. Yeah, every game there are plenty of cross checks that don't get called. Not to say that wasn't a cross check, it was. I refuse to take that contract. That's all I'm saying. I mean, hey, he's right there, right? He could use a little defensive help. Yeah, he could go to Pittsburgh, right? Last time I checked, I can't. I don't think the shark. I don't think sharks make any noise. No, the sharks are much more concerned with replacing their teeth than they them. Well, it's a shark, Tiago. It just looks like a dolphin. I'm cautiously optimistic that next year I could hit a Sharks game. We got Eric hanging out here with us. Thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate that. Nikita Kucherov has his second career Hart Trophy. He's got quite the trophy case with a couple Stanley Cups. I think like 3 Art Ross trophies, probably a Lindsay in there somewhere. And I mean, shoot, I think as soon as he retires, that jersey can go up whenever the hell he wants it to go up from those Raptors. Mammoth for Larkin, maybe as a TC, that'd be really interesting. You don't want to break up Cooley and Gunther. Off the turnover, here come the Kings. A shot from the slot, fought off by Hart. So no penalty. I appreciate that. Thank you, Eric. Oh God, nice, Jake. Now Carrier losing this. And a bobbling puck in the neutral zone. Robinson able to advance it into the Golden Knights zone. But the Knights will send this down. Goss is fair. The ghost fair. As Cortana goes off for a change. Down to 13 minutes in the second period. Again, the Knights a 9-1 goals advantage so far in the final in the second stanza. Knights have a total of 11 scoring chances compared to 1 for the Hurricanes. My God. Yeah, you can thank Brandon Busty so far. Staal the drop pass into the neutral zone. Knights coming back the other way quickly. Eichel out there with Marner. Jarvis, as he takes a hit from Stone, will chip this in. This will actually come on icing for the Hurricanes. We get a face-off in the game zone. What's it going to take here for the Hurricanes? I'm trying to figure this out. They're having a hard time really just getting an established possession in the night zone. Uh, great volt, great voltage 24, I should say. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the Stanley Cup Final so far. Eric Carlson mentioned. Woo! That at least gets a step from me with my little Savannah Bananas speaker. Now even the party animals are selling out MLB stadiums. Very impressive. Hi. What's up? Oh, hello. Brandon Bussey's parents are in attendance. They were also there in Game 4. Of course, on the other side of the country. Banana Ball mentioned, yes, indeed. Yeah, my neighbor saw me wearing a shirt, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you follow the Bananas?" I'm like, "I saw them last year. I don't follow them so much, but I'm still a fan. Bananas, party animals, clowns, coconuts, firefighters, Texas tailgaters. Why not?" Now, Keandre Miller, good support from William Karlsson though for the Knights. Miller. The Ottawa Senators are interested in Jacob Bresk. Okay, well, I would assume the Canucks are open for business. But DeBrusque, he would have been from Alberta, right? Yeah, he's from Alberta. According to the Hurricanes radio broadcast, which would be, I believe, Maniscalco and Tracy, the Norwegian soccer team is attending Game 5. Oh, no way. Maybe because of the storm. Well, I mean, I know Iceland does the storm. They actually originated the storm clap, the skull chant. But perhaps, well, maybe Norway's playing in Charlotte or something, or Raleigh. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, that's right. Raleigh has a. Oh no, Charlotte has the MLS team, not Raleigh. All right. Well, I do want to say a little shout out. Good luck to Norway. I can't remember the last time they were in the World Cup. And as my dad would inform me, there might be a little bit of Norwegian heritage in the bloodline here. I knew Swedish, but yeah, it's like, hey, the blonde in my beard here, it's gotta come from something. 11:25 left in the second period. Shots favor the Knights 10-7. We get a face-off in the Vegas zone with Stankoven. Even up just a little bit of size there to Dowd. Dowd wins that. Dump down. A check from Goss to spare on Smith. Now a little bit of a breakdown for a moment there for the Canes, but they got it back with the second line out there. Stankoven trying to chip it and get around Lauzon, but scooped up into the trapper. And a late hit from Lauzon, not dirty per se, but I believe we'll get an interference call to the Golden Knights, and the Hurricanes will go on the power play. Sharks fan from El Paso, go Canes. I love it, man. Go Sharks. First of all, go Sharks. Don't these colors, they only run in the Stanley Cup Final, but yes, go Canes. I love it. Sharks territory, man. Has no limits, man, no bounds. All right. Canes power play due to a Jeremy Levzon penalty. Brady Tkachuk stays in Ottawa. I mean, I think this isn't the first time we've heard about, or, people have speculated Tkachuk being traded. So I won't believe it until you get something like a Darren Traeger or a Friedman saying, "Hey, this could actually go down." I'm not cheering for the Canes to go Knights. Wild Bill is heading down to the tunnel. Yeah, William Karlsson is a little shaken up. So yeah, good call out there, Eric. All right, so we've got the Canes power play coming. up to bat here. And so far, the Kings power play has been pretty good in this series after what's been, another postseason for Carolina because the power play has been just consistently weak for them in postseasons. We got None God. What's up? Hey, well, we got a Kings power play. That's what's up. Kings win the face-off, but a good tie up there from the Knights, and they'll get the clear. Today's game has commentary in Portuguese. They crack some jokes. We don't get enough jokes on our commentary here. Svechnikov looking around for Jarvis, and it will be funneled back to the point for Aho. Aho, high slot for Jarvis. Lots of pressure here from the Knights. The one-timer, and in front, rebound. Sprawling his heart. Puck still loose. Still not clear. Canes hold on to it. Goss to spare. Into the corner for Ehlers and back to Ghost. At the top of the zone. The one-timer, the save by Hart off that bid from Seth Jarvis, and a frantic start to this power play. Picked up a new Celebrini jersey. Woo! I love it. I love it. I don't have a Celly jersey just yet. I got plenty of Sharks jerseys, but I haven't put 71 on any of them. Not yet. One day. Although Colin Graf, I got to give me a Colin Graf jersey. I love Graf. I love Colin Graf. And Chernyshov was a lot of fun to watch too. All right, a minute 13 in this power play. Staal and Eichel in the circle. Staal wins it. Back out to the point for Stankoven. Out to Blake. The shot trickles toward the pads of Hart. He gets the pad and a chance out in front, and Staal can't tap it in. And the Knights able to get the clear. Nikishin retreating. So the first real breath that the Knights PK can take. Blake leads the charge into the zone. He'll pull up. He falls down. Stankoven trying to support him. The puck ends up on the stick of Ehlers toward the point. A tipped pass and over the stick of Nikishin, so the Knights get another clear with 30 seconds left to kill. Alex Wenberg. Yeah, Wenberg has, boy, and I think that was a great contract that the Sharks negotiated with him. A loose puck. Ehlers. Marner able to get the clear. Onto the wing, he's got Howden speeding up ice. Brings it into the Canes corner to chew up some more time. Just 10 seconds left. Here comes Blake and Taylor Hall. And that pass just past Jackson Blake's stick. We're back to even strength. And the Knights get the kill. Although, we're going to get another whistle here to the Golden Knights. The Canes fans rise to their feet. They are excited for another power play opportunity as Braden McNabb is going to the box for Vegas. He is from Michigan. He's a big loss. I mean, he's been, in the darkest of times, he's been the face of your franchise. So, like, I hear you, man. I mean, like Tomas Hertl, right? Tomas Hertl played in San Jose for a decade, and then mid-season, he wants to drop his no move clause and look where he goes, right? Next spasm. We'll get a commercial break, but when we come back, it's going to be another Canes power play. Best person named Wood in the NHL. Blackwood. It's former Shark Kyle Wellwood all the way. But yeah, although I've seen a picture from like the 2014 Winter Classic or something where Larkin's wearing a Leaf shirt. Not Red Wings. I don't know what that's all about. But then again, you can't trust photos these days, right? Like 50, probably about 70% of the time they're AI now. Big Kiefer Sherwood guy. Yeah, Kiefer, I don't love that contract. I think that for the next 2 years, though, having him on the roster is could be a good thing for San Jose. But I like the dude. He's a good presence for them. I like how he will throw his body around out there. Is that worth $6 million? Not so much, but I mean, Michael McCarron is making 3 and change for 6 years. What's my guess for the second pick in June? The second overall pick. Oh, I want to say they're going to go Stenberg. I know that defense is clearly a much, much bigger need, but Greer said he's planning to go with the best player available. That doesn't mean that Stenberg will be number 2 for them. That maybe they do value Chase Reed over him, but I still will think it's the more logical pick. But Greer's got to get really creative with how he acquires defensemen going forward. Go Canucks! That's right. So Canucks fans are rooting for, I don't know which team, but I would think it's the team that's not in their division. I could be wrong. All right, Canes power play once again. Once more with feeling. Let's go. They had 3 shots on that last man advantage. And they'll win the faceoff here with Gossespierre at the point. Jarvis, one touch pass and fanned on and cleared by the Knights. And here is Shane Gossespierre dumping it in. Around the net it goes, looking for Aho, Ehlers, and back to Seabass. Back to the point for Jarvis. Floats it back to Aho. Would really love a Sebastian Aho goal. Really, really would love a goal from him right now. Here's Ehlers. He'll shoot. Aho able to come up with a loose change in the slot. He'll take this puck. He'll slide it over for Ehlers. Minute 10 in this power play. Down low for Svechnikov. The one-touch pass back to Nicky. Ehlers. Svechnikov. Back to the point. And back to Svechnikov. He'll shoot. He scores! Svechnikov makes it 2-1 on the power play. Well, it's not Sebastian Aho, but somebody else who needed a goal that badly is Mr. Svechnikov, and he puts the Carolina Hurricanes ahead. And I'll give a treat to Cortana because she wasn't on camera. Here we go. There we go. Let's go, baby. And that went through the wickets of Lausanne. Hart couldn't pick it up in time. And that's a great feeling for the Hurricanes, who spent more time in their zone in this game than they're used to in these playoffs. Nice, Thiago. Well, let's go, says Dominic. I love it. And the crowd coming alive here in Raleigh as they make McNabb pay for the penalty. A 4th line out there for the Canes. Risky Yinzer. Let's go, Carolina. All right. I like that. I'll drink to that. Well, I'll probably have to go pee first, and then I'll drink to that. But, hey, guys, we know this series has been chock full of wild momentum shifts. For all I know, the Golden Knights could finish this period scoring 3 more goals. I'm dead-ass serious. Here come the Canes again. At the top of the slot, the shot, and might have gotten off the skate of Theodore. Jump down, Bussy. Patiently waits for the opportunity to flip this over to Hall, who doesn't get the clear. Good back pressure by Howden. Here's a chance for Sissons. Good stick work there from Slavin. Good skate work. And the Canes, I think they dodged a bullet there. And good to see Jacob Slavin making a play like that, because it's been a bit of a rough playoffs for him. And I love me number 74. We were talking about back in the early days of the channel where I was going on about him. Svechnikov rims this around. It goes down into the neutral zone. Good setup there. Aho working against Hannafin. Hannafin, a little bump into the corner. Back to Aho behind the net. Trying to float it out to Nikishin. He'll spear at this. Knights get the clear. Here comes Smith. Oh, he had doubt on the down center. That could have been interesting. A battle behind the Carolina net here. Colasar, girl, come on. Don't be complaining. You're getting lots of goodies. And you have Chonk, too, so you don't need too many. I hope the dark days are over. Well, if they embrace the rebuild, even if the on ice result is bad, it's that the team wants the dark days to be over as soon as possible without being set back any further. So I think that could be a good thing. Oh, nice sliding block there by Goss to spare. Almost took a tripping. A big check by somebody for Vegas at center ice. Canes will dump it down. We're now down to 5:20 here in the second period. The go-ahead goal so far off the stick of Andrei Svechnikov. Here's Miller, the drop pass into the skates of McNabb off the rebound stall. And he's hungry for another one. Go get you some more, big boy. And retreating back is Sean Walker for Carolina. Tipped in by the Canes. Under 5 to play in the second. And with some speed, the Vegas Golden Knights coming through the neutral zone. Behind the net, Eichel trying to leave it off for Dorofeev. But just black jerseys for this one. Into the Knights zone, and Svechnikov has that knocked away by Sissons. A chance for Howden. He skates in, and Bussy denies him. Is that going to be a penalty, though? No. Yeah, it was close. Kane's able to get the clear, and Slavin, as he takes a hit, is able to chip this down off of Jarvis. And with 4:10 left, the Knights will try to get another sustained possession here in the Carolina zone, where the momentum has been tilted. You want Caleb Malhotra to be a Canuck? Hey, best of luck to Manny. He only played 1 year in Teal, but I loved his game as a Shark. Knights coming in, charging in toward the net. Loose puck at the side. Bussy's down. Trying to squeeze the pads. The refs haven't blown the whistle. Fed back for McNabb. He's got 6 assists in this series so far, but he passes it out of the zone. The Knights will try to charge back here. Here comes Rasmus Anderson. Bussy gloves it. Good read by Chatfield, or else that's on a platter for Barbashev. Stankoven barely able to get this by Eichel, but the Knights' pressure is fierce right now. Off of McNabb, skated out by Stanky. Logan Stankoven. He shoots, and just wide of Hart's glove. And in the neutral zone, intercepted by Miller. Chipped into the Knights' corner. And there's Seth Jarvis, giving up probably about 50 pounds against McNabb. Ehlers trying to keep things deep. Barbashev, good play along the boards to seal that off. And the Canes able to get another one deep and get a change. Down to 2:30 in the second. Dark Fear. Hey. Fear of the dark. Oh, here's Howden on the backhand, takes it around the. Oh. I don't know why he didn't just keep it going. He might have had something going if he tried wrapping it around the other side of the net. Dumped in by the Canes. Martinook, the first one there. Looking for Svechnikov. Oh, he had Svechnikov there. The touch pass, the shot, the score! There he is. It's Sebastian Aho at 3-1 Carolina. There's the goal. Incredible play. The top line players are coming through tonight for the Canes. Woo! Let's go, baby. Cortana, treat. Oh, sorry, girl. I love it. Risky Yinzer. Let's go, Canes. I love it. Wow. What a sequence. It all starts with Martinook winning that battle behind the boards. A great pass from the point. I didn't see who that was. Was that was Walker, I think? And then Aho just taking it off his skate, chips it top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. Where does Mason McTavish go if he gets traded? Think the Maple Leafs would consider it? How about McTavish to? I don't know. McTavish to. Excuse me. McTavish to Nashville. I'm not sure. Have to be a Canes fan right now. I'm not going to dispute that, but hey, there's still 2 minutes of hockey in this period. Here comes Jankowski. Huge goal he scored back in game 2. Turned over to Eric Robinson. Gostisbehere. Oh, he almost things got close there. And Hart, that goes just wide of his pad. Off a bid from the high slot. Tommy Boy, welcome back. You want to see Jordo get another cup? Hey, I love it. Can you believe it? He's got 6 goals in these 5 games. I've never seen somebody that deep in their career with that kind of performance. Although Mark Recchi needs an honorable mention as the oldest player to ever score a goal in the final at 43. Mark Recchi, of course, being, I think, part of that team that won the cup for Carolina back in 06 and then later won another one with the Bruins. Shot from the point, and that doesn't reach Hart. But there was some traffic there for the home team. He's dump it in, bobbling down. Hart's going to swallow this up with his glove. 14 shots from both teams, down to 1 minute left here in the second period. McTavish to the Habs. That'd be lethal, man. Is Brent Burns coming home? I just don't think it works with the direction that the Sharks are trying to go in right now. You know? I mean, the coolest thing would be if because he's not going to win a cup if he goes to San Jose next year, right? And I would think it'd be ridiculous to expect him to put up 55 points, but if he quarterbacked the first power play unit, hey, it can't be any worse than Klingberg, right? Commercial break, by the way. And then let's say he gets 55 points, that would put him at 1,000 for his career, which I know he played a little bit as forward, but that's really mostly as a defenseman. And very few players will ever flirt with that mark as blue liners. The beer is worth it. It is, yeah. I mean, like those youngsters are going to have to learn how to grow good facial hair. And Joe Pavelski, for all we know, might be going to Toronto as the head coach. Wow, what a response here for the Hurricanes. Man, this game. Hey guys, like I love the vibes here for Carolina, but there's way too much hockey left. These nights, my dad and I were talking about this, and I was like, the Knights could fire 4 pucks, and 6 of them would go in the net. Like they're that dangerous. Jordan Staal has a podcast. It's funny. I get a decent amount of comparisons. So if they win the Stanley Cup, I might get a Jordan Staal jersey with the cup patch. Might even tweet the Canes media or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I could really milk this and like go meet the guy or something. Although I gotta say, I'm 4 inches shorter than he is, so I only look so much like him, right? Plus, I'm not blonde. I'm not blonde. But you put a helmet on me, you're not going to know the difference, right? Yeah, that's funny. A 2-goal lead is nothing this year. Yeah, Tommy Boy, a freaking 4-goal lead is hardly anything, right? Montembeau out of Montreal. I could see that, yeah. Now under a minute left. Yes, it's front. Oh, good block by Eichel off of Jordan Staal. Dude, I've had this channel for almost as long as Staal's been a king this games. I've had this since 2018. Staal. I thought he was trying to center that. Cortana needs at least 7 more. Yeah, I know. But those better be Hurricanes goals. Anyway, in just a little bit here, when we get to intermission, I'm going to use the restroom. Will the Habs be a contender in the future? Oh, yeah. I mean, there are still not huge holes in the roster, but there are still holes, things to address, but they're well on their way. All right. Well, what's been a very tense defensive battle has opened up a little bit here in the Hurricanes striking 2 times in this period. A power play, and it's the top line players coming through. First, it's Andrei Svechnikov, and then later it's Sebastian Aho as the Hurricanes take a 3-1 lead into the dressing room. I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Watch Cortana for me, okay? Good time to leave a like, right? If I could pet Cortana through the screen. Exactly. I mean, she's a double-edged sword. She's irresistible. She's so cute, but she knows how to get her way. She just smiles at you and says, "Hi, you're gonna give me the treats right now, aren't you?" Dovish is going to learn a lot too. Yeah, I mean, what a great postseason for him and a really good season. So, yeah, I mean, there's nowhere to go but up if you're a Canadiens fan. They're ahead of schedule, you know? Albeit they play in a tough division, but, I mean, shoot, they beat the 2 teams ahead of them in the standings to get to the conference final, and, they played 2 7-game series, and, Carolina beat them, and it's not because Carolina is that much better of a team. I just think that, they they have the experience of having been in the playoffs and won, you know, plenty of rounds too in the Rod Brind'Amour era, and so it's a different season, right? It's the playoffs are a different season than the regular season, and, I think the Canadians did an awesome job. Of course, I'm wondering to myself, I think it's premature because I think that they need to do things to upgrade their defense. And I don't know what's gonna help them too much in that respect because the free agency market isn't very good. I think they need to trade to really, make an impact on, defensive improvements with the Sharks. Some people are thinking the Sharks might be in the playoffs next year, and that would be a little bit ahead of schedule for me as a fan at least. But, you know, in 7 years since we were last in the postseason. I'm excited for when that time comes, but this last season was so much fun. It really was. Actually, shoot, Sharks actually beat some good teams. And yeah, then there's Jacob Fowler. Yeah, I don't even know what his ceiling is. as a potential number one goaltender for Montreal. By the way, I saw Urinating Tree put out a video on Fanatics today. That should be pretty entertaining, I think. Let's look at the numbers here. So, looking at the team stats, at least according to ESPN, for some reason the Knights only have 12 shots. It had like 14 or 15 here on the ESPN broadcast. But, 29 to 27, the hits favor the Knights, which was interesting because the Hurricanes had more hits in the first period, but also the Knights had to puck more. So usually that means that you're going to finish and check more as the defending team. Two penalties apiece. Face-offs, the Hurricanes have been really good in the face-off circle, and that was evident on their power play as well. So that's something that I was fearful of going into this series, and they've looked good in that respect tonight. And they're just throwing Jordan Staal out there quite a bit. And hey, guess what? He's got another goal. His sixth of the Stanley Cup Final, assisted by Ehlers and Jarvis. And then it was Svechnikov on the power play, 12 minutes into the second period, assisted by Gostisbehere and Ehlers. So Ehlers, a pair of helpers tonight. The third goal coming just, a little bit less than 6 minutes after that. Aho's fifth of the playoffs from Walker and Martinook. The lone goal for the Golden Knights so far, off the stick of Pavel Dorofeyev as he snaps a bit of a slump himself. That's his 11th of the postseason on the power play. And assisted by Eichel's got 19 assists. That's crazy. Not a whole lot of goals, but plenty of helpers. And Tomas Hertl also gets an apple in that. Let's see. When we trade Gallagher, I wonder when we get back in return. I don't think the return is going to be all that much, though. I don't know how many years he has left on his contract, but I don't think that he would fetch more than, at the very most, probably 30. But I'm thinking that that sort of thing usually is a higher value at the trade deadline. So if you want to trade him in the offseason, I'm going to say that it's probably going to be a third or maybe a fourth, but maybe my calculations are completely haywire. Favorite games from last season was against the Penguins, the Rangers, the Wild, and the Pacific teams. Well, the funny thing is the Sharks missed the playoffs because they played bad against the Pacific. They actually did good against the Central, and they were like 500 against the Eastern Conference. It was because they were terrible against the Pacific. But yeah, my favorite game would still probably be, even though a lot of people would say that Penguins comeback in Pittsburgh where they were down 5-1 in the third period. My favorite was toward the end of the was close to the end of the year. It was that home game against the Ducks. That was unbelievable. Where Macklin and Smitty had a point on every goal. That is the best I've ever seen them. It was a clinic. That was the most exciting game I've seen as a Sharks fan, I think, in a long, long time. And Macklin tying up the game with the net emptied, and then they win it with him getting an assist. Alex Wenberg getting the winning goal, and I can't remember if it was that game. No, it was the Winnipeg game where he passed Youngo for the most points in a single season by a Shark, where he scored his last point of that game was a goal, and he even assisted on his own goal because he deflected a loose puck with his skate toward his teammate. I forgot who it was at the point, and then that guy fired it back to Macklin, and he scored. It's just like it's out of a fairy tale or something. Like it's incredible just how the ways that Macklin finds to get on the board and to get this team in the win column. Yeah. I won't make it till the end. Okay. Hey, all good, man. I know that it's late over there. It's like what, just about midnight, right? But again, thank you so much. And I don't know. I don't know if we'll be live for another stream during a game, but if 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 the Hurricanes win the Stanley Cup, I will do something like that. A live stream, maybe I'll go live right after. We'll see. But there's so much hockey until then, so we'll see. Was releasing Pickles a bad move? No, that was that was fine. Financially, it's not a huge burden. I just don't think he really it didn't seem like he wanted to be there so much. I know he had some other stuff happening off the ice, but, yeah, that wasn't a problem at all. When the Flyers made the playoffs, I never cheered so hard. I didn't care if you got eliminated. Yeah, that's always I mean, there's hardly a better feeling besides winning a championship than when you're just playing with house money like Philadelphia was, and then you beat the Penguins on top of it, and, hey, even if you get swept, it's like, I'm pretty sure that the fans out there, as cup-starved as they are, they understand that this is only the beginning of things, right? So, by the way, would Dylan Larkin be interested in going to Philadelphia? They could use some more center help, I think, yeah? Who? Martin Chromiak? Well, Chromiak? I have no idea. I've never even heard of such a player. Is he from Slovakia? I don't know. I just think of Slovakia with the Kings for obvious reasons. Hmm. Yep. So we're finishing off this local Spokane cider, and then we're going to move on to this Portland cider here. It's an Imperial Blackberry Pie, 9%, by the way. It's got some kick to it. Uh, and, and then we'll see what what happens at the end of this game. I don't know. I'll either be lamenting or I will be pumping my fist a little bit. All right. See you later, honey. Rick Chalky coached the Flyers well. Yeah. And, he's not the only one who does this, but he certainly is a coach that the message gets there really quickly. Teams typically perform pretty well when he takes over. But how long that will last, I don't know. But, you have some young players who are supposed to be this franchise, and, they're just getting their feet wet out there, a lot of them. So hopefully some good days ahead, and they play in a pretty weak division, at least the way the season played out. So, yeah. By the way, William Karlsson he didn't come back right after that injury. We'll see if he returns to the point later on. And left you the cup with the Penguins. Which player? Jordan Staal. I don't know if the Flyers need Darnell Nurse. I don't even know if Darnell Nurse needs Darnell Nurse. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what program would help him right the ship in his career. But even though my Sharks need some help, we need more help from the right side. So I'm not particularly interested in his services anywhere near that solid. Hi, hi, girl. Hi, what's up? Can you come over here? You want to come say hi? Cortana wants to say hi. Come here. Can you come here? Here we go. Sorry, you got my pasty legs here. Look at this. There you go. No, you gotta wait for another goal or super chat. I mean, like, this is not bottomless treats that you're getting, you dork. Stupid Seal, welcome back. Yeah, it's been a little bit. You enjoying the final? Thankful to have you here, though. And happy World Cup to you or to all who celebrate. I know it's been 20 minutes, or there's 20 minutes of hockey left. It's starting to feel like Carolina is imposing their game on the Knights. I mean, first period though was a different story, and we know the momentum shifts that have happened in these games. So I'm not ready to quite. I'm hopeful. I mean, like they closed that out really strongly, but you know, if I've learned one thing, it's expect the unexpected in this series. Porter Martone played well. Yeah, how many regular season games did that guy play? Oh, just 9 games. But yeah, he was over a point per game. pretty bananas. So, yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch them in the um, regular season, and I really didn't watch that series with the Penguins too closely, so I didn't get to, you know, study his game, I guess. But that's good though. They need a couple of top guns, young top guns that the fans can look forward to. A top tier finals all around, really. My only thing was that going into this, I just haven't been as into it as maybe some have. Not because I don't want like Carolina to win. You know, I'm really invested, but it's been that there hasn't been quite some of the spectacular goals, right? Like we've seen from Sergei Bobrovsky and Andre Vasilevsky, and I don't know Jordan Binnington in 2019. Like we haven't had that goaltending right for either team. Owen Tippett, yep. But I'm willing to admit this is top tier hockey. Yeah, I think the quality of this product has been great. Keep the party going. Make it we'll make your night to see a Canes win. Yes, let's pray. Jordan Staal can defensively lock things down in the center of the ice. Goaltending has been subpar. Busty's looked pretty good though. It's something. Yeah, tonight he's looked really good. That first goal, like, there's no way in hell he's gonna come up with that. And he's made some good stops. Uh, it's just like you got to be if you're a cut above Carter Hart in this case, your team's got a pretty good chance. But even though it looks good like that tonight, it's like hell. All it takes is 5 bad minutes. You could give up 3 goals in 5 minutes, right? Hell, shoot, Hart gave up 3 goals in what was it, 39 seconds? But yeah, wouldn't that be? I mean, look, I love I have I've always liked Freddie Anderson, even in my times of saying like he's not the guy. It's not that I'm not cheering for the guy. Uh, it would suck if the Hurricanes won the cup and he wasn't you know dressed for that, playing for that. I understand why. Like you want to win, right? But he does have a role in helping this team in the postseason. Because in that Ottawa series, I think some people might forget, Linus Ullmark was amazing for the Senators. So Freddie Anderson had to be at least somewhere in that level of performance. He was outstanding. And then against the Flyers, it wasn't quite as close as it was with Ottawa, but he was still awesome, just making every save, making things really easy for his defense. And then Montreal, yeah, the numbers are bad, but it was really more like they weren't surrendering all that many opportunities in the first place. They were just the quality ones. But yeah, I would still come to his defense in that sense. And I would hope that he would be one of the first guys to lift the Stanley Cup, even if he's not dressed for that. Not a lot of things to say about Hart for this year. Yeah, I mean, he was really good in those middle series, right? Like against the Ducks and against the Avalanche. I thought that clearly the Knights had the edge and goal going into the series, but here we are, right? But who knows? Maybe John Tortorella decides to do something differently here. We'll see. We'll have to even look down at the biggest goal to see because we're underway here with the third period. We are underway. The final 20. Canes taking a lot of momentum into the locker room, but guess what? They had wrestled it back from the Knights, who had the momentum after the first period. We got Jimmy Meyer. Hey, Jimmy. Good evening to you. And hope you're enjoying the final here. So Carlson is not on the bench for the Knights. That is a crappy loss. I know that he's not being on the score sheet as much, but this guy knows the Knights system better than any player on that roster. Chance in the slot, maybe for the Knights. Off a stick. Oh, that was nifty there from Sissons. He tried to deflect it kind of lacrosse style and Bussy made the read. I haven't watched much of the finals, to be honest. Well, if you get a chance to watch the highlights, it's worth it. It's sure as hell worth it. What happened to Anderson? So Freddie Anderson, I don't know if he was ever injured because it hasn't been disclosed. He did get bumped a little bit there in Game 4, but uh, he was, or in Game 3, excuse me, he was a healthy scratch in Game 4, although he was the emergency goaltender. And you just looked at the fact that he hasn't been able to make as many timely saves in the final. And so Brendan Moore just said he probably just felt the need to get a change in net, and the team would pay attention to that, and it's working so far. But yeah, lots of hockey. So a puck dumped down. The Knights will be called for icing here. Eichel's not happy about that. Yeah, I thought that it had deflected off to somebody too, so I'm a little perplexed about that as well. But yeah, I had said this earlier that Freddie Anderson, his agent for 15 years or for his whole career was Claude Lemieux, and the two had grown very close together. And so for him, it's been an especially hard loss for him. Rest in peace to Claude Lemieux. Hurricanes win this draw. Slavin shot, fought off by the blocker of Hart. Around the net, intercepted by the Knights defense. Svechnikov, one of the goals tonight for Carolina, puts it toward the net. Off of the pad of Hart, shot from the point, blocked by Theodore. And skated out. Eichel trying to chip it by. Kind of gets kind of hooked there. I'm surprised. It seemed like he was disappointed. When the Bruins aren't in the playoffs, you don't watch. And like I've done that a whole lot myself. Which is funny because in the history of this channel, my Sharks have been garbage except for like the early days of the channel. So I've learned to just watch a bunch of other teams that are not my team in the playoffs. But for the Bruins, you guys are almost in it every year, so I get it. Out in front, oh, and denied is Howden by Bussy. My God, what a save! But man, Howden, there wasn't a Carolina Hurricane within the same area code as him. That was a little dicey there. Yeah. Cortana, stop complaining. If you want Cortana to stop complaining, throw a super chat in. Any amount will do. Or we need a goal. Carrier, nice play along the boards there to chip that out. Robinson in the foot race. Hart comes out and is able to stop it. He's not back in his crease just yet. A little chaos there, and now things settle down as Miller funnels it around, looking for Robinson. Howden, after missing that chance, will chip it out of the zone. James Higgins. What the? Yeah, that was a lot of what the. There was almost a dang it in there. Here's DeAndre Miller feeding it to Blake, son of Carolina Hurricanes Stanley Cup champion Jason Blake. Skated out. Here comes Cole Smith over to Dowd. A chance and a good stick lift there from Gostisbehere. And now from the point, still alive in the Canes zone for just a moment. And now Theodore from center ice tips it into the Canes corner. And the Canes will just send this out as they get new personnel. Delandrius keeper pass. Yes. Well, Skinner, I mean, it just didn't work out after 20 games or so. You could tell. Delandrius has already been extended for 2 years, strangely, which I disagree with. I don't see what kind of value he's really bringing to this team that nobody else can provide. And we're going to get a tripping call here. Eichel going to the box. I don't know. That might have been a nice sell there. But yeah, I'm not. That's one with Greer where I'm scratching my head. But I don't know. Maybe there will be somebody who can take a spot in training camp, which would probably be for better. Ehlers getting hooked there by Eichel and taken down. Gotta finish this cider here. Cortana, enough. We got to see a Canes power play goal, or God, maybe a Knights shorthanded goal. They are lethal. Let's not forget. All right, Staal against Colton Sissons, and Staal cheating in the circle. He's going to get the boot. In comes Sebastian Aho. What he does for the Bruins? I forget. Was Higgins playing in college this year, or was he in Providence? I can't remember. And won by Aho. Back to the point for Goss to spare. High slot. Back to the dot. Here's Svechnikov in front. And Staal gets shoved down. Still in front of the net. And not cleared. Good pressure there from Aho. Over to Goss to spare, jumping into the play. He'll pull up at the half boards. Oh, Cortana, I might need to take you outside, Boo Boo. I think she might need to pee. Hold it just a little while longer, girl. You can do it. No UTIs in this house. Goss to spare. Actually, well, our cat had one last week. She's actually a lot better now. One-timer Svechnikov off of the backboards, and now over to Aho. Sebastian Aho funnels it to Goss to spare. Out to the dot, Jarvis. The cross-ice pass and the pad save by Hart. Handed off to Goss to spare from Aho. Jarvis at the dot. Thought about the shot. Svechnikov facing some pressure. 55 seconds left in this power play. Aho. The Knights have to be tired right now. The one-timer and a save in the breadbasket of Hart off the shot from Jarvis. Oh boy, things really picking up here. McTavish and Zegras and Drysdale. Yeah, actually, that would be pretty wild. I'd be here for it. That's Flyers. Like I said, they could get better at center. I know, girl. Don't worry. We'll get you outside in just a second. Okay. 15:24 left in regulation. Knights win the faceoff, and they'll dump it down. Settled by Bussy. Almost a chance there for Marner. Now with 35 seconds left, Nick Ehlers slowing things down. Errant pass for Stankoven. Onto the wing for Nikolai Ehlers. With speed, the Canes come. Taylor Hall shot immediately off of Anderson. Field clear. Nice keep in by Jackson Blake. Stankoven. Oh, I love the second effort there. And now it goes back to Hall. Blocked by Marner. Stankoven. Back to the point, and it's just wide of Nikishin. We're back to full strength. The Knights come away killing that penalty, but man, for a moment there, they were definitely hemmed in their zone. Dumped down by the Canes. On the commercial break, I'm gonna take Cortana outside. Here's Martinook, the backhander, and he had a teammate on the doorstep. So increased pressure here from Carolina. 21-14, they are out shooting Vegas. Eichel on the wing, Chatfield behind the net. Aho skies it into the neutral zone. And the loose puck is corralled by the captain, Stone. Barbashev. Stone behind the net. Looking for somebody. A shot that goes off the end board. Slavin battling against Barbashev. Hurricanes. Lots of momentum. But I keep saying this has been just a series of big momentum shifts. We get an icing against the Knights with 13:19 left. So not ready for the first commercial break just yet. Here, Cortana, you're being so good. I'll give it to you. There you go. Good girl. Dan Vladar can be a good goalie for the Flyers. I mean, I think that you need to at least have that competent 1B goaltender behind him. You have a 1A, 1B. Vladar did great, but I still think you need something additional behind him that's an upgrade over Ayerson. Like, if you had somebody like Alex Nedeljkovic, that could be a serviceable tandem, right? Kinda like how the Canes did for a long time there with, Gene Reimer in that. Alright, here's Dorofeev. Goes off Walker and just wide of the net. Barbashev cycles it behind the net. Eichel out in front, trying to jam at it. A couple of black jerseys able to keep the puck away from him. Here's Eichel again against Miller. Tossed it up to Stankoven. Stankoven into the game zone, or into the biggest zone, puts it wide of Hart's blocker. Now over to Svechnikov at center ice. I'll backhand this, but just straight to a defender. This puck high in the zone. Canes come up with it. Theodore. Hurdle. Nice block pass there from Goss to spare. Looking like it, Jake, but 12 minutes left. Dumped down by the Knights. They'll change up while Nikishin rifles it to center ice. Off a teammate's stick and back the other way come the Knights. And now another loose puck. Here's Carrier. He shoots and just over Hart and over the net. Out of play. We'll have a commercial break and we'll take Cortana outside. All right. Leave a like while I'm gone, if you could, please. All right, let's go. Not doing that. All right, here we go. We back. Thanks for hanging out with us here. I do appreciate that. Cortana appreciates it too. Woo. Well, there's plenty of hockey left, but I think we're looking good for the home team. Yeah, it sucks that William Carlson. Islanders signed 24-year-old Dylan or Dalen, and Dylan. Um, Heffler for next season with Matthew Schaefer. Okay, Schaefer was a treat to watch. I didn't see very much of him, but I loved it. Seems like such a likable kid too. All right. You get face off in the Vegas zone. It's Staal on the draw, but he loses that one to Eichel, which Eichel's had some struggles in the face-off circle in this game. Ehlers out front, big pad save by Hart. That is a save you can't forget. Jarvis, he'll shovel this. That was a weird collision. Chatfield. Down it goes. Will it be an icing? Yes, it will. So we'll get a face-off in the Carolina zone, but down for the Hurricanes is Chatfield. Come to Buffalo, go to a Sabres game, Bills game in the new stadium, and a bandits lacrosse game. I mean, shoot. I am keen to, before I die, go to a Bills tailgate. That would be amazing. Especially because hey, I don't know if I like Buffalo cold, but I do like the colder months for sure. And then, yeah, Sabres, especially, if they can start the season strong, that'd be a fun place to visit. Oh, right now there's actually gonna be a double minor assessed to Mark Stone. I saw that he took off, Chatfield's helmet, but yeah, Chatfield's being covered up. His forehead, it looks like the stick drew blood. Chatfield will go for, repairs. And don't forget that guy chews up a ton of ice time for Carolina. Chatty's had a great, career arc here with the Canes. We're gonna have a double minor assessed to Stone. Yep. He looks so happy to put on an Islanders jersey. Yeah, I mean, like, that's you'd rather have somebody who wants to be there than somebody who's better of a player, but, doesn't care as much about being there, you know? Is that you? Oh, Mrs. Kitty. Mrs. Kitty. As my dog tries to my dog just chases her out. But you're right, stupid seal, you're right. Goss's bear to the dot for Jarvis. A little too fancy there. Turned over and cleared down by the Knights. Cortana, you're fine, you dork. Goss's bear. Healers, and now from center ice, Jarvis hands it off to Aho. Down low for Jarvis, and he puts it wide of Hart. Kept in at the point by Gossesbear. Healers. Remember, it's a double minor penalty, so it's 4 minutes in total. Gossesbear. Svechnikov. They're working it around the horn. Marner able to clear. And the first minute killed off by the Knights. Stankoven. Entering the zone is Blake and knocked away by a Vegas defender. Hey, you're fine, girl. Having a little trouble getting set up now. Handed back over to Jarvis. He'll take a hit. And cleared down by the Knights yet again. Could Jordan Kyrou work on the Islanders for scoring in power play? Yeah, I think it's important that they have somebody who has even more upside like that. That's more of like a 25 goal scorer, whereas I think you guys need more of a 35, 40 goal scorer. But I think that he would be, a fairly good fit there. Oh, and now maybe a penalty to the Canes? No. I thought that might have been a high hit or a high stick or something. Just an awkward collision there. Let the Knights kill off the first penalty. Stop. Goss's bear. Onto the wing for Aho. Back down for Ghost. Looks out high. Ehlers. Down low. They score! It's Svechnikov again, and the Hurricanes with a commanding 4-1 lead. Well, Cortana, you're gonna have to get another treat from me here. As Svechnikov comes alive for 2 power play goals tonight. Here, come lie down. Come on. Art Wolf. Well, I mean, he's gonna out by himself. Kane Surge. Hey, what's up? Thanks for jumping in, man. Here we go. Here, let's give Cortana another treat. Lie down. Oh, what a good girl. Smash that like for Cortana. Well, there it is. I mean, the Knights were doing a really good job on that kill. Like, I'll give them credit for that, but, Kane's kicking it into the zone with some speed, and there's the result there. Wide freaking open, yep. So now 4-1 Canes with under 9 to play. And this puck is tripped all the way down for Hannafin as he takes a hit from Martinook. A little shove it, little extracurriculars there. Do I think that Barzell wants out? No, I mean, I'd seen something about that on X, like a single post. You'll have to fill me in, but I didn't think so. But I mean, I might be missing something. Eichel, and that pass is too far for his stick. Now Barbashev skating against Miller behind the net. Stankoven is going to take a hit there from Dowd. Quite the size difference. A shot from the point. Bussy makes the save. He didn't really see where that was coming. Nice. Cycling it behind the Canes net. Here's Hurdle. Over to Coughlin, and again, Bussy screened there by Barbashev. He was able to make the save. And the night cycle continues. Bussy fumbles the puck, but he's able to cover up with Hurdle breathing down his neck. And a total of 7:27 left here. I could be more happy, or I couldn't be more happy about this Carolina win, but goddamn Spurs, why just why? That's boy. I mean, I think that they're what? They're a pretty young group, the Spurs, right? So it's kind of like sometimes you got to have that cold water moment, right? And then you learn from that. Look at the Montreal Canadiens, for example. Really young team. They get through two very difficult opponents in 7 games, and then they fold like a lawn chair after game one against the Hurricanes in the conference final. So a lot of teams have to go through those moments where they're like, "Whoa!" Like we know we're good, we know we're kind of punching above our weight, and then you get kind of dick slapped, and then you're like, "Okay, you know what? We're gonna remember that. We're gonna be prepared for if that could ever happen next time." And then you come out more mature and prepared for that. I would love to have Shimon Nemitz as part of the Lightning's defense corps, but the Bolts would have to give up a lot. Yeah, I mean Nemitz is kind of being coveted by the Sharks fan base right now. I'm very surprised by how clean the series has been. Yeah, that's very true. Especially with you being a Panther supporter. Yeah, that's one thing that I was talking to our members about this, and I said, like, "Yeah, this series it's really good hockey, but at the same time, it's like we're missing some of that nastiness, and we're also missing some show-stopping goaltending. There's no Bobrovsky in this final. There's no Vasilevsky in this final. No 2017 Pecorino, right? Excuse me. Uh, but apart from that, yeah, it's been fantastic. Jake, don't count your chickens, brother. Don't count your chickens. I mean, maybe this game you might be right, but hey, this series is far remote. Coming back from this one. All right. Svechnikov finally getting the clear there. Here's Aho chipping it by the defense, but it's going to be ruled a him. All I have to say for NBA talk is go Sonic. They're coming back. But in the meantime, go Warriors. Even though they should have rebuilt like 8 years ago. You did hear something about Barzell. Young team Spurs and Montreal will win the championship one day, but it hurts so much. Well, it hurts so good. It's been a great ride. You've been invested. You know, it's going to be more exciting when the season starts, right? And you'll start to think more about the future and less about that one loss. But man, San Antonio, what a century it's been for them so far, right? On to the wing for Dorothea. Oh, another $5 here from Tenchi. Tenchi, huh? Speaking of Vasi, he's got another Vezina. Yeah, look at you. Kucherov and Vasilevsky. Thank you. I appreciate that. Here's Cortana. Oh, another treat. And we'll give her another treat. Whoop. There you go. And there you go, my friend. Colin. I mean, yeah, you've taken out. It's one team, but it's like, oh, when they score Dorofiev on the doorstep, that's a 4-2 lead now for the Hurricanes, and there's still plenty of time left. There's 6 minutes left, guys. So the Knights cutting the deficit to 4-2. Wait, I got their goal on here somewhere. So that's 2 goals for Svechnikov and 2 goals for Dorofiev. Yeah, Bussy just lost the rebound there. Yeah, he came up with a save and he just like briefly lost track of it. Miller a little bit too porous of coverage there against Dorofiev. If Vancouver gets a baseball team, not sure how I feel about that. Are you a Mariners fan or a Blue Jays fan or neither? So guys, I mean, this game is not over. Neither. All right, so dumped in by the Canes from center ice, scooped up by Hanifin, and now Anderson will lead the attack the other way. Drop pass for Dowd, trying to get it around Walker. A chance on the doorstep, and tied up there by Walker. But things looking a little porous here for the Canes. Walker not able to clear. Perrier able to dump it the other way. Have I been to a Giants game? Yeah, I've been to many games. I got to go to 2 of their World Series games. Once in 2010, my dad took me, but then in 2014, I returned the favor and I took him, and they won both games. So then you get your money's worth. All right, down to 4:45 left. Knights, they're gonna try to enter the zone here, but a deflected pass, it goes out of play. 24-21, the shots favor the Hurricanes. Go Cubs. Yeah, I mean, while my team is completely irrelevant, I'd be fine with the Cubs if they want to, like win another championship. That's cool with me. I've been to a lot of Cubs games actually. I mean, probably more than any other team that's not the Giants or maybe the A's. But yeah, a day game at Wrigley. There are a few environments that compare to a day game at Wrigley. Have I ever been to? Yeah. So I mean, I grew up like an hour south of San Jose. So, and I went to college like 5 minutes away from the Shark Tank. So yeah, I was a half season ticket holder for a little bit there with the Sharks and Vikings wise. Yeah, I've been to 2 of their games, including I was in the stadium for the 2017 Minneapolis Miracle when Stephon Diggs walked it off against the Saints. I was in I was in the nosebleeds, but I was in the same corner of the end zone where he ran into. So that was I'd say unforgettable, but it was like an out of body experience with how shocking it was. So the most surprising thing I've ever seen in person is the Minneapolis Miracle. That's number one for me. The second craziest thing I've ever seen was Game 7 against the Golden Knights for the Sharks back in 2019. I was in the building for both of those. John Carlson, how much you miss him? I wonder if there's any desire for Washington to bring him back, but I don't know. I mean, you looked pretty good with Anaheim for a while there. Actually, John Carlson would look great in teal. I'd be okay with that for a year or two because we need right-handed defensemen. Anyway, this game is still not quite over just yet. Got a few minutes left here, 4:35 to be exact with me. Braden McNabb brought through the neutral zone by Eichel. Wheeler's chasing them, trying to send something to the slot. And regrouping is Theodore. Flyers are interested in John Carlson. Actually, that would be good for them too. Stone. Anderson. High slot. Shot. And just missing Bussy's glove. Eichel. And now Dorofeev. Yeah, the Knights can feel it a little bit right now. Shot. Rebound. And nice defense there. I didn't see who that was who knocked that away, but that was key. Might have been Nikishin. No, Slavin, excuse me, my Lord and Savior. Not named Mac and Celebrini. Here come the Canes now. Shot from the slot. And just wide. Stankoven gets the rebound. And now Dorofeev. It's better than therapy. Game 7 against the Knights. Yeah, you're probably right. I wouldn't say they got destroyed per se, but yeah, anyway. Miller skies it all the way down into the Knights corner. No icing. We'll see if Carter Hart comes out, though. White Sox move, and the Bears is depressing in Chicago, at least get the Blackhawks to cheer for. Yeah, that'd be just terrible if they were the only team left in that part of the city, right? Hey, this is Diddy. This is Diddy. And Cortana, she's okay. Trying to get my cat over here, my big fluffy kitty. Will the Sharks make the playoffs next year? Okay, Giants aren't making the playoffs. Vikings are in the toughest division, so they're probably not making the playoffs. They could, but I'm not expecting it. And the Sharks, I'm saying no because I have to see what they do with the defense. The defense and the goaltending is that bad to where I don't have faith in them, even with Macklin Celebrini. Like they did a great job improving last year, but that was mostly because of Macklin, right? So I don't have any real expectations just yet. I don't hold your breath when score. Yeah, I mean, right. You can never count this team out. They are the golden cockroaches, right? You think you've got them, and then they come back, and there are more of them, and then they overwhelm you. So the net is emptied for the Knights. Bobbled puck, slapped at by, I didn't see if that was Ehlers. And the Knights have to regroup from behind their net. Down to 220. Eichel. And Bussy gets a piece of it. We're going to get a puck out of play. And the officials say it's a tip and not a delayed game. Stenberg and Bedard, yeah, I'm fearful. Yeah, Askarov is a riverboat gambler. He kind of is, man. Have you seen that guy play the puck? That's the thing too. Is like if Askarov can't improve, because look, his athleticism is awesome. I love that. But his teammates really like him too. You can tell. Like when they win games, like Macklin skates first over to him to hug him. But he needs to improve. He needs to be more steady back there. I think that really next year has to be the litmus test. If he can't improve his game, I think they need to move on. They've got Joshua Ravensburg in the system, right? But I hope that he succeeds. I want to make that clear. Sharks would have gotten smoked. Yeah, exactly, Colin. and I agree with you too. So it's not that bad that they missed the playoffs. I mean, if they made the playoffs, they wouldn't have had a chance to get the second overall draft pick either. If anybody's tuning in and they're like, "What? Wait, why is he talking about the Sharks?" I am a Sharks fan. I mean, the Canes have been my favorite Eastern Conference team for a while, but yeah, I bleed teal. Anyway, we're down to 2:13 left. All right, face off controlled by the Knights. They've got it at the point. Remember, the net is empty here, and they actually have a power play. I did not know that, so it was a delayed game. Maybe a chance here for the Canes to clear at least. It goes down toward the net, the empty net, but it's not icy because they're killing in penalties. So it's 6-on-4 right now. Excuse me. Oh yeah, fatality. It's a tough division to improve in, but I think they can. I mean, if you get Bedard and Friedel for a full season together, oh, at the side of the net there, Stone couldn't put it on goal. Here's Theodore. Shot. Staal with the initial block, but Theodore gets it back. Theodore, one-timer. And off the side of the net, and they're jamming at it. And Bussy swallows it up. Oh, my goodness. What a save. We've got 1:20 left. And I know some people will be bouncing out. So, again, before you go, if you could kindly leave a like here. Don't do it for me. Do it for my dog. She's cute. Look at those ears. He's got the Dobby ears, right? Did Stone McKinnon. I didn't know if it was that bad, but what a great cover up there by Bussy. When the Lightning were in San Jose before the Olympic break and the Lightning just kept scoring on the Sharks. When was the last time that San Jose beat the Lightning? Probably about like 2014. I don't know. Brandon Bussy, that might have put the game away. We'll see. But yeah, that was clutch. Here's Stone at the goal line. Bundled back to the point for Theodore. One-timer, and that's Stunk Miller. He's limping and gimping. He comes up with a loose puck, though. He fires it out, and that comes all the way down behind the net. And now we're down to 50 seconds. Dorofeev onto the wing for Hurdle. Means lots of pressure up top. Eichel trying to get it into the middle. A chance for Jarvis. He chips it by the defender. He comes in by himself. And the Knights defense gets back in time. Marner, Dorofeev, a couple whacks at it there at the top of the zone. Chatfield almost getting the clear, but a teammate of his fires the puck down. We're down to 12 seconds. We will have Game 6 in Vegas on Sunday evening, where the Knights have to win or else the Carolina Hurricanes are Stanley Cup champions. But tonight they are victorious at home in front of the Raleighwood faithful by a score of 4-2. 2 goals from Andrei Svechnikov, and Brandon Bussy was great in net for the Canes. Let's give Cortana a victory treat for Carolina. And I know some people have to go, but please leave a like before you go. Woo! It wasn't looking all that pretty for Carolina early on. The Knights dominating possession there, but getting things started was the captain, Jordan Staal, on the power play. Or no, wait. It wasn't the power play. It was even strength, wasn't it? I don't remember. I don't freaking care. Staal, his 6th goal of the playoffs. 2 goals from Svechnikov. A goal from Sebastian Aho. A couple guys making a very much needed appearance on the score sheet there. Lord Stanley, bring you the brandy. Oh, I wouldn't mind some brandy, but I got to finish this Imperial Cider first. Legendary save by Bussy, you betcha. Is he the first undrafted goalie in the final? I don't know about that, but he's the first to actually be like a quote-unquote rookie or first-year player, right, at 27. Oops. As I almost kick over the Cortana camera. All right, let's go Canes. All right. Well, everybody, just need one more now. Yeah. Vibing. Ghost cover, we vibing. With the Seattle oh my god. Ghost Cobra, don't touch that dial. One sec. We've got I don't know if you're actually a Sonics fan, but yours truly, despite growing up in Warriors country, always was loyal to the glove Gary Payton and the soup, if you know what I mean. Well, the Sabres make the final soon. I hope that this wasn't a pop-up season for them. I hope it wasn't just a wave of I don't know, momentum or whatever, but it's gonna be tough in that division. You've got Montreal to contend with, as you know. I am a Sonics fan. All right, I love it, man. Well, cheers to you. Hooraj, what's going on? Great final, huh? Wow. So, the Kraken and the Mariners too. Okay, so you probably live around there, or at least grew up around there. Uh, I'm originally from California, but I live in North Idaho now. So, but yeah, I grew up a Sonics fan for basketball. You're fine, fine, dog. Good night. Cup and six. I'd love that. I'd love that. Thank you for joining us here. Go Kings. Okay. Being to Vegas doing that. Well, that's bad. Okay. You have to come back. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't really care for the NBA product these days so much, right? Like a good game back in the day was 93 to 87, right? But if they come back, I'd probably get into it a little bit, you know. They'll be my team. Blood pressure was high. Yeah, abso-freaking-lutely, man. One more win. That's all it takes, right? That's all it takes. Brandon Bussey, ride the bus with us, right? I need a rivalry between the Lightning and the Sabres. Hmm. I think more of like Lightning and Bruins. You know, they've had a lot of good postseason battles. Is Ovi immortal? Nobody will ever eclipse Ovi for goals record. Matthews, his pace is actually pretty close, but I still got to think it's Ovi's. His productivity late in his career was incredible. That girl. Wow. So we had what? We had Knights, Canes. So they broke that up, and this is their second win in which they have conceded the first goal. Yeah, it's not anywhere what it was like at the start of the decade or before then even. I breathe now. Yeah, take some breaths. You're not out of the woods yet, but holy God, this might be it. This might be it. All right. Well, fellas, I'm going to sign off for the evening so I can go play an impossibly hard video game and finish this delicious hard cider. Thank you so much for being here from Cortana and myself. We hope to see you again soon. It might not be for an official game stream, but we may go live should the Hurricanes actually win the Stanley Cup. So always good to have you don't have to have your notifications on, but just keep your ear to the ground. You can be part of our Discord as well if you're not already. We have a link to that. Discord's totally free to use. And we'll see you again, hopefully soon enough. Have a great night. Thank you for your super chats. Thank you for your comments and stimulating conversation. And we'll see you again soon. Go Canes.